Howdy, howdy. Morning. All right. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Hope everybody's having a good Monday morning. Where's the flatties? We did just start. Welcome, welcome. There we go. TikTok is connected. Are there any galaxies that are blue shifting and moving towards us? Andromeda. Yeah, the Andromeda galaxy. It is moving towards us. Oh. We'll give it a few minutes. Flat Earthers usually take a few minutes to roll in. What's the closest outer space threat to us? Well, there aren't really any threats that I'm aware of. Let's talk to Bob Dean. We got our first guest today. Bob, how's it going?
Good. I have a question.
Before you ask your question, I just gotta ask what shape you think the Earth is.
Don't kick me, but like it's a globe, obviously, bro. It's not flat.
Don't kick me, he says, right before. Okay,
No,
go
but
ahead.
wait, listen.
Go ahead.
Okay, do you think aliens exist? Like I've seen you, like
I don't think that they've visited us.
But do you like think like
they probably exist out there in the universe, just not here?
Okay. I just wanted to know. All right.
You're good.
Peace out, bro.
Anybody else does that, I'm gonna kick you immediately. No ifs, ands, buts, ors, or any other associated conjunctions, okay? Yeah, he literally could have typed that. That's very true. It's okay though. I'm not gonna be too mad. It was the very first guest. All right, we have another guest.
Charlie Kirk, nigger! Ah!
What? Yikes indeed. Yeah, shouldn't the kids be back in school? That's a good point. All right, let's talk to Peter J. Parker III.
Hey, what are we?
Peter J. Parker III, how's it going?
It's pretty good. What are we?
I don't know what that question means.
We are Charlie Kirk.
It's a good joke, however, please don't. Yeah, who knows what's going on. We'll let some people trickle in though. It'll take a few minutes and then we'll get some actual guests. Oh yeah, mods, start blocking them. I don't actually know if I can block from my computer. I know that they have to be think anyway. Talk to Bradley. Bradley, how's it going?
Hey, sir.
Bradley, what shape do you think the Earth is?
I do think it's flat.
And why would that be, Bradley?
When I was like, I believe 25, I read an article on Facebook about how NASA lies about infrared technology in their spacecraft.
Bradley.
Yes, sir.
What state do you live in?
Alabama, sir.
And what states border Alabama?
Tennessee, Mississippi, and I believe was it Oklahoma or Texas or something? I don't even know. I moved here 2 years ago. I grew up in Tennessee. I live in Montgomery.
Okay, Bradley. Actual troll is troll. Let's talk to Ivan. Ivan, how's it going?
Hi.
Hey, glad to hear that you're a
Do you
normal
hear
person.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you, Ivan. That's great. Ivan, what shape do you think
Okay,
the Earth is?
so listen up. So if the Earth isn't flat, so why do we have flat surfaces on the Earth?
Like what?
Kansas.
Have you ever been to Kansas, Ivan?
No, but it's flat.
How do you know it's flat?
Well, how do you know that the Earth isn't flat? If you have you been in Kansas?
I have.
So is it flat?
No,
How is it not?
it's round.
Or Oklahoma? I don't know. I'm not from USA, but listen. Also, I want to ask if you circumnavigate the Antarctic, you get the giant wall. So how do you explain
Sorry, one more time?
if you my English is not perfect, but
You're fine.
okay. If you circumnavigate the Arctic or Antarctic, Antarctic. So all you see is a giant wall. If you look
Well, that's interesting.
on
It's
your,
interesting you say that
one
because
side of your point of view.
it's
So
interesting you say
how
that because
come-
what about the beaches?
What beaches? Antarctica doesn't have
Oh.
beaches.
It does. Want me to show you one?
Are you talking about beaches like women's?
No, let me show you something.
Beaches, like a
Yeah,
beach,
like with sand.
sand.
Well, not sand, but water. Water, rocks.
Well,
Does this look like an ice wall to you?
You see, this is NASA propaganda. This is filmed
This is just a photo,
in
my guy.
Greenland.
It's just a
Greenland.
photo.
This is Greenland.
Do you have any proof
This
of that?
is Greenland. Yeah, I have. Google Greenland.
I've seen Greenland before.
Okay, while we are at it,
So wait a minute. How do
Why?
you know that the photo I showed you is not from Antarctica?
how do I know? Because I'm a penguin.
Oh, what about these penguins?
Let's see them. Those my homies, bro. There's Jack, Samuel.
Get out of here,
Uh,
Ivan. It was pretty funny though. We'll give him that one. All right, let's bring up official Jay Massey.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Jay, how's it going?
All good, you?
I'm doing okay. Jay Massey, what shape do you think the Earth is?
The Earth is flat for sure.
Why do you think so?
Okay, if you want to understand why the Earth is flat, you have to think about space.
Mm-hmm.
You have to think about the fact that most of the astronauts that went to the moon and back, allegedly all by themselves, refused to swear that the Earth is flat, and they never ever went to the moon. So why will
you
the
sure about that?
astronauts yeah, why will the astronauts that went to the
because
that went on the
because
moon?
it's not true.
What do you mean it's not true? There's footage and everything of those astronauts
So
allegedly refusing to swear on the Bible that they went to the moon.
So David Scott brought a Bible to the moon, and in fact, there's other astronauts who have sworn that they were on the moon, and they did so on a Bible. Like, this is a real thing.
No, you didn't answer my question, man. I said, why will most of astronauts refuse to swear on the Bible and refuse to testify that they went to the moon?
So I'd love to. So look, I don't think it's true that most astronauts refuse to swear on the Bible. I think that you've seen one clip of one guy being confrontational towards, I think it was Neil Armstrong, and Neil Armstrong wasn't interested in talking to the guy.
No, I think it's a lot of them.
Can you give me the names of any other astronauts besides Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong?
Spend the day. We can spend the day and talk about it. It's like I don't mind, but there's a lot of those astronauts.
So,
there's a team.
For example,
there's a team of investigators.
Edgar Mitchell.
I want to make
on the Bible that he walked on the moon.
I want to make a point here, man. There's a team of investigators.
Wait, can you respond to what I just? Can you respond to what I said? Can you respond to what I said?
I didn't say all of them.
Okay,
I didn't say all of them. I said most of them refused to do.
Wait, hold on. Prove that. Prove that most of them did.
Okay, let me just check out that fact, and I'll bring the list of names to you. That's not a problem. I'll bring the list of names to you. Okay.
Okay.
I have another question for you. How do you explain astronauts will do spaceship maintenance out of the shuttle while the shuttle is moving at 27,000 kilometers an hour? Right?
Well, to be clear, the space shuttle hasn't existed for 20 years.
Okay, whatever you want to call it, the space shuttle.
It's because they're moving at the same speed as the space station.
The same speed. You can't.
Why not?
Just the fact is simple. You can't be doing external maintenance on a piece of equipment that is moving at 27,000 kilometers an hour.
You can if you're moving that fast.
How would you be moving that fast out of the shuttle, man?
Because you were inside the space station, which was moving at that speed, and then you got outside and you kept moving at that speed.
That doesn't make any sense.
Which part?
No, it doesn't make any sense.
Which part?
Space. What is space made of?
Space is not a substance. It's not a thing made of stuff. Space is like locations.
You're not even answering. What is space made of? What are the gases?
It's a category error. You're confused.
What are the gases?
That's like asking what blue is made out of.
You're not even answering. What are the gases that compose?
I am answering. I'm telling you that you're confused. The question is not a sensible question.
What are the gases?
If it's a vacuum, then there's no gases in it. If it's a vacuum, there's no vacuum. There's no gases in it.
This is a fact from NASA. 90% of space is filled with hydrogen.
Yeah,
and
so it's not a true vacuum, right? It's close to a true vacuum, but it's not a true vacuum.
Are you gonna let me prove you the Earth is flat, or you just wanna?
Yeah, so please prove to me that the Earth is flat.
Yeah, okay. If you want me to prove it to you, you gotta understand what I'm saying. 90% of space is filled up with hydrogen. The other 10%.
That's not true.
Bro, Google it if you want.
Hold on, just to be clear, I know exactly what you're saying. This doesn't mean that space is like has a whole bunch of gas in it, right? Space is nearly a perfect vacuum. It has hydrogen atoms every like cubic.
I just told you
it has like one hydrogen atom.
It has
like one hydrogen atom. Please,
90% of the gas.
Please don't interrupt me. Please don't interrupt me.
Okay. Yeah.
It has like one hydrogen atom every cubic centimeter or so, depending on where you are in space. In the solar system, there's between the Earth and the Moon, there's more. Out in like interstellar space, there's less. But like it's very, very sparse. It's effectively a vacuum.
90% of space is filled up with hydrogen, and the other 10. This is NASA.
Do you understand what I just said and how that's not in contradiction with the thing that you just said?
Okay, so how'd you explain that those gases are actually in space, and according to NASA, you can encounter a wind, what we call interstellar winds, which move at over 100,000 kilometers an hour.
Yep.
There's winds in space moving at over 100,000 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
So how do you explain you will be doing external maintenance on a shuttle, your head out of the shuttle, moving at a different speed?
Why would you be moving at a different speed?
Medium. Because you're in a medium, right? You're in a medium.
It's a pretty sparse medium, so it's not like having an effect on you.
What you mean it's not having an effect on you?
There's like one gas molecule or one gas atom, like every cubic centimeter. It's not very much.
Where 90% of space is filled up with hydrogen, the other 10%.
Hold on, to be
is
clear,
filled
you're
up-
confused again. It's not 90% of space is filled with hydrogen. It's that 90% of the matter in space is hydrogen. 90% of the gas or plasma is protons, with sometimes with an electron attached. Look, the point is
So those
that
gases
space
are
is
real, right?
space is very nearly empty, but there's like a few stray particles here and there. And those stray particles are, you know, most often it's hydrogen. But there's still just like a few stray particles here and there. There's not very much.
So they're winds, right? They can be affected by
the winds
velocity
are
and
like
speed,
a
right?
few particles here and there.
Well, they can be affected by velocity and speed, right?
I don't think that that's a sensible sentence. What do you mean the winds can be affected by velocity and speed?
It means it simply means the gas can be affected by velocity. So the speed of a gas can be affected by speed and velocity.
The speed of a gas is the speed of the gas. Velocity is just a more kind of fine-grained version of speed.
Oh, okay, well,
You seem a little
just
confused
understand
about
what
this.
I said. The gas can be affected by the wind, meaning.
So the gas travels. It has a speed that it's moving through space with.
Yeah, that's the point. That's the point.
Yeah,
It has
yeah.
a speed, right?
And so how many?
The gas has a speed which
Yeah.
is completely different from the
Yep.
speed at which the astronaut
Absolutely.
is. It's
You're
different, right?
Yeah, you're
So
right.
how
It
to
is
explain-
different. Fortunately, the wind is like a few atoms. It's like a few atoms moving through space. It's not like wind on Earth. The density of the wind is much, much lower in space than it is on Earth. So it doesn't have as much of an effect.
But still moves as fast as Earth winds. It still moves as
No, it's
fast
actually
as
much
Earth
faster
winds.
than Earth winds. It's just
Exactly.
there's much less of it. There's much less of the particles, so they don't push on anything as hard. So let me look, Jay Massey, maybe I can give you an analogy.
Yeah.
So imagine that you know what like a ping pong ball is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So imagine somebody threw a ping pong ball at you at 100 kilometers per hour. It wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't do it. You wouldn't be pushed back or anything like that, right? Just a
Yeah,
ping
that's
pong
right.
ball.
But it's not a ping pong ball.
Right.
It's
Hold on.
wind.
I'm not done with the analogy. Now imagine that somebody threw a bowling ball at you at 100 miles per hour. You would be
Yep.
injured and you would be pushed back, right?
Yeah.
So it's not just about the speed that matters, it's about the mass. And so in space, the mass of the wind is so close to zero that it has basically no effect on you. Whereas the mass on Earth is pretty significant. There's about a kilogram of mass in every cubic meter of air.
Yeah, that's right.
But in space, how much mass do you think is in a cubic meter of the gas in space? Want to guess?
How much is it?
It's going to be like, well, off the top of my head, my guess is 10 to the minus 15 kilograms. So let's look. Density of interplanetary space. 5 to 40 particles per cubic meter, or per cubic centimeter. So we can do this. We'll just go to Wolfram Alpha and do some quick math. So we have, let's say 40 hydrogen atoms per cubic oh, I should show you the calculation I'm doing so you can follow along. Because we're just going to calculate how much mass there is in a cubic meter. 40 hydrogen atoms per cubic centimeter times mass of a hydrogen atom times, now there are 10 or 100 to the third cubic centimeters in a cubic meter. Let's punch this in. So let's figure out what it spits out. So we have, okay, so it gave us it gave us the density. Okay, we'll just have to do it by hand rather than asking Wolfram Alpha. So we want the mass of a hydrogen atom. Mass of a hydrogen atom is 1.67 times 10 to the minus 24. So we will punch that into 1.67 times 10 to the minus 24 kilograms, right? No, grams. Grams. Now we want to convert that to kilograms, right? So we want to multiply that by 0.001. And then we want to multiply that by 10 to the 3. And then we want to multiply that by 40. So multiplying it by 10 to the 3 gets us from cubic centimeters.
That's just too much maths for me, man. I'm not a math nerd.
Okay,
Like,
so I'll answer the question.
Honest with you.
I'm just gonna answer the question.
Well, the fact is that
I'm just answer. Hold on, chill. So this is 10 to the minus 20 kilograms. So in a given cubic meter of space, it's a, you know, roughly a billionth of a trillionth of a kilogram. Whereas in a cubic meter of air on Earth, it's about 1 kilogram. So the force that you're going to feel is much less from the wind in space than it is from the wind on Earth. Does that make sense?
You still didn't get my point. I just mentioned to you 75% of the universe's normal matter is hydrogen. So it's a gas.
Well, or a plasma, but yeah.
Which moves, it's 75% of the universe matter is hydrogen, it's a gas.
Right.
Which moves
but that doesn't mean
different speeds.
That doesn't mean that the gas or the plasma is, you know, everywhere. You can still have very sparse.
So what are you saying here? Okay, are you saying that of all the space maintenance like missions that astronauts made, they never came across hydrogen? Like
no, they
moving
did.
at
They
a
probably
different
probably
speed?
came across a few hydrogen atoms.
That's what I just said. So you can't
so
be
a
doing
few
space maintenance.
Yeah,
at a different
hold
speed.
on. What do you think happens to you if a hydrogen atom hits you at 100,000 kilometers per hour? What do you think happens?
Bro, you get split up because you are moving at
nothing
27,000 kilometers
literally
an hour.
Literally nothing happens. Nothing happens if a hydrogen atom hits you at 100,000 kilometers per hour. A single hydrogen atom? A single hydrogen atom is like nothing would happen to you.
Well, it's not going to be a single hydrogen atom.
You wouldn't even
I'm
know
talking
it.
about 90%.
No, but the thing is it would be a single hydrogen atom. 90% of one is less than one.
Why will it be a single hydrogen atom?
Because there's just not very much stuff in space. You understand that, right?
Considering the fact that 90% of space is made up of hydrogen,
okay, hold on.
Why would it?
J.
Why
Massey,
would you be?
J. Massey,
why would you be hit by a single atom of hydrogen?
J. Massey, you're a little confused. It's not.
Okay, let's get to a different point because that was space, right?
No. I need to explain this to you because this is very confusing for you, and I can offer you something to explain it. So
it's not at all confusing for me.
So what is the case is that of all of the regular matter in the universe, 75% of it is hydrogen. Do we agree on that? At least that's what NASA says.
75 to 90%.
Well, it is 75%, but sure, we can just take the 90% if you want. So now let's take that 90%. The question is, how dense is that matter in space? Because it doesn't mean that space is made of that. What it means is that there's that stuff in space, right? In the same way that 22% of air is oxygen and 75% is nitrogen, of the stuff that is in space, 90% of it is hydrogen. But there's just not a lot of stuff in space. So even though 90% of it is hydrogen, it's still 90% of basically nothing. So the astronauts, they'll encounter a few hydrogen atoms here and there, but they're not going to encounter like a big wind like we would experience on Earth, because on Earth, there's a lot of air. In space, there's just not a lot of stuff. It's basically empty with a few hydrogen atoms and even fewer helium atoms every few centimeters. Does that make sense?
I'm wondering if it makes sense for you because if you get into a big wind of hydrogen while in space, while you're doing space maintenance, bro, you get scattered in pieces.
Look,
you just said yourself 90% of space is hydrogen moving at a different speed than the shuttle.
It wasn't 90% of space. It's 90% of the stuff in space.
Exactly, 90% of the stuff in space.
Now, how much stuff is in space?
Which is okay, but you're still gonna encounter those gases.
Stuff in space. You understand that there's not very much stuff in space, right?
Aren't you gonna encounter those winds?
Yes, but those winds.
So how would you be doing external maintenance? How would you be doing external maintenance on the shuttle?
J. Massey, this would be like you asking me how can you move around, or how can you drive a car if people are throwing ping pong balls at your car at 100 miles an hour? Like, the ping pong balls aren't doing anything. They don't weight, like, there's no weight behind them, so they're not going to have any effect on you, any significant effect anyway.
You know
Like,
what?
it's just like, there's just not much stuff there.
We can agree on every point. That is a fact, because you're not going to change my mind. The Earth's flat, right?
Well, right,
So
but I can at least
want
help you understand why the...
Exactly. Yeah, you just help me understand a lot more stuff right now. But the Earth is flat. That's a fact. Okay, let me bring up something else to you.
But you understand
Let me bring up something
that,
else to you.
the percentage of the matter in space being hydrogen has no influence on how much matter is in space, right?
It definitely has, because hydrogen has
the percentage doesn't tell you how much
hydrogen
there
possesses
is total.
a mass.
Right.
Hydrogen possesses a mass.
So J Massey, let's do an exercise. Okay, let's say that in a given cubic meter of water, it has a mass of 1,000 kilograms, right?
I think it's 70 grams per liter.
Yeah, it's 1,000 kilograms per cubic meter. I happen to know that number off the top of my head. It's 1,000 kilograms, but 70 kilogram or 70 grams per liter.
70 grams per liter.
Okay. I mean, it's 1,000 kilograms per cubic meter. We could do the conversion if you want, but 70 grams is not correct. Anyway, now of that, what percentage of it is hydrogen atoms? Well, in water is H2O. So for every water molecule, there's 1 oxygen atom and 2 hydrogen atoms. So it's like 66% hydrogen and 33% oxygen, right? And in total, so you'd have 66% of the atoms are hydrogen in a 1,000 kilogram cubic meter, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, keep going.
Okay. Now, what if you what if you took instead a cubic meter of steam? Now, a cubic meter of steam at regular atmospheric pressure is going to weigh about a kilogram, a little bit more than a kilogram. Now, it's still true that steam will be 66% hydrogen, but now there's just a lot less hydrogen because there's a lot less mass total, right?
Does it change anything to the mass of the actual gas?
Yes, the point
Does it change anything
that
to the mass of the gas?
a cubic meter of steam has less mass than a cubic meter of water.
Does that change anything about the fact that the gas moves at a different speed than the space shuttle?
So J Massey,
and proves it impossible for you to be doing external maintenance
let me help
on a
you.
space shuttle?
Let me help you more. So if you had water being shot at you, like a water hose being shot at you at 120 kilometers per hour, it's 66% hydrogen, 34% oxygen. And a water hose is going to hurt you. It's going to at least push you back a little bit, right? Because it's a water hose. But if you take instead, you shoot steam or water vapor or, nitrogen gas,
but
whatever.
It's not steam.
No, but just it's an analogy. If you instead shoot steam at someone at the same speed, it'll do nothing to you because the steam has less mass to it than the water does.
You just proved it yourself. You just said it yourself.
But the steam is still 66% hydrogen. So even though the percentage is the same,
are not moving at the same speed.
J Massey,
you're moving at 27,000 kilometers an hour, right?
J Massey, even
the
though
gas is moving at 100,000 kilometers an hour. How are you not going to be scattered in pieces, man?
We're getting there. Even though the steam is the same percentage as the water, the steam hurts you less because the steam has less mass. There's less water molecules, even though the percentage is the same. So now imagine that we're in space. In space, there's even less molecules than the steam. And so if you only have a few molecules, it doesn't matter that it's 90% hydrogen. There's like no mass there. So it doesn't matter how fast you shoot it at somebody. It's not going to have any effect.
What do you mean there's no mass there, man?
Well, it's negligible. It's very, very small. It's it's like trillions. Right? It's like a billionth of a trillionth.
So let's get to something else.
It's like a billionth of a trillionth of a kilogram.
No worries. Yeah, you got the calculations and everything. That's not a problem.
Mhm.
Okay, I have something else here. This is a
Okay, so
a
as long as we
basic
recognize
stuff.
that you're pivoting because you don't understand what I just said, that's
No,
fine.
I know what I stand for. Like, you're not gonna make me change my mind.
Right,
I
but
know
you're
what I stand
pivoting
for,
because you
and
don't have a
you
response
know
to what
you
I
stand
said.
I'm not pivoting at all.
Then why
You're
are we
not
changing
gonna
topics?
approve what I'm saying.
Then
You're
why
not
are we
gonna
then
approve
why
what
are
I'm
we
saying. So
then why are we
that's
changing topics? If you don't have
we're
a
not changing
response,
topics. We're still talking about the fact that the Earth is flat. We're
I mean,
not changing
presumably, like we
anything.
were specifically talking about how it is that you can have a large solar wind without having that affect your maintenance that you're doing on the space station. But now you're changing topics away from that because I don't think that you understood that
You-
mass and percentage are not the same thing. But that's okay, we can change topics.
You think I didn't understand, but I understand what you tried. What was your point? And
Okay.
there's no
Can you
there's no
repeat it
problem
back to
about
me?
it. There's no problem about it.
Can you repeat it
Okay,
back to me so I can check your understanding?
Well, you think that there's basically a large amount of negligible mass in space, which proves the fact that, according to you, an astronaut will be able to make external maintenance on the shuttle without being scattered into pieces. But that's not what I think. There's no problem about that. Okay, how do you explain you living on the globe and not being upside down on the South Pole? How do you explain that?
Upside down typically means that your head is on the ground and your feet are in the air, right?
Yeah, you're living on the globe, right?
Right,
But
right. So if I'm on the
how is
South
your head
Pole,
not upside down on living on
Right,
the,
right.
in the South Pole?
I'm explaining. So when I'm in the South Pole, my feet are still on the ground. So I'm not upside down. Because upside down means that your head is on the ground and your feet are in the air.
But you're living on the globe, man.
Yeah?
A piece of you're living on the South Pole, which is a piece of mass,
Yeah.
stick to the globe at the bottom of the globe, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh, so how are you not upside down?
Because upside down means that your head is on the ground and your feet are in the air.
No, your head you're completely upside down because
What do
that
you mean by
landmass,
upside down?
according to the globe, according to the globe theory, that landmass is at the opposite of the North Pole.
Yeah.
That landmass is at the opposite of the North Pole, right?
Uh-huh.
Which makes it impossible for you to stand upright.
Wait a minute. What do you mean by upright? I thought upright meant that your feet are on the ground.
Yes, but your head will be upside down. Like, you won't be able to.
What does upside down mean here? Upside down to me just means that your head is on the ground and your feet are in the air. What do you mean by upside down?
That's impossible. That's
What do you mean
impossible
by-
because you're on the
what
globe.
do you mean by upside
You're on
down?
the globe.
What do you mean by upside
You're-
down?
You're at the opposite of the North Pole, meaning
Yeah,
someone
so-
standing at the North Pole will have a complete 360 position than yours at the
You
South
mean
Pole.
180? Yes. So relative to somebody at the North Pole, the person at the South Pole is flipped. Relative to somebody at the South Pole, the person at the North Pole is flipped. You're right.
It doesn't make any sense.
Which part
if you
doesn't
wanna
make
prove-
sense?
You just proved the Earth is flat by saying that, man.
Which
You
part
just
didn't
proved
make
the Earth
sense
is
to
flat.
you?
You just proved the Earth is flat by saying that.
Are you sure? Which part didn't make sense to you, J. Massey?
Because you're at a complete position, different position.
Yeah,
You,
they're
you,
in a
you said
different
it's 180
place.
degrees, right?
Yeah,
said
they're in a
it's
different
180
place, and so
degrees.
their orientation is different. Yeah, I agree.
So there's no way for you to stand at all
Why not?
because you're complete different poles, man.
Yeah, so
If
gravity
the
pulls
Earth
in
was a
different
globe
directions.
and you were at the North Pole, you'll be able to stand upright with your feet on the ground, right?
Right? And somebody in
Looking up
Antarctica
straight.
can also do
But-
that, but they're in the other direction.
No, there's an ice wall. There's nothing about Antarctica. It's an ice wall. You
Have you
can't
ever seen the
explore
ice wall?
Antarctica.
Sure you can.
There's the
You
only
definitely can.
the
Oh,
only
now
agreement
we're
on
pivoting
which
a lot, by the way. Hold on, J. Massey. Let's not move off of your confusion
no,
about
you
the South
mentioned
Pole and the North
Antarctica,
Pole.
so let's talk about it. You mentioned it yourself.
Wait, you mentioned
I didn't
Antarctica
mention
first.
Antarctica, man.
You
I want to
said the
make
South
it.
Pole.
I want to make it fact clear
But
for
J.
you.
Massey, you mentioned the South Pole.
Yeah.
That's where
Yeah.
Antarctica is. You mentioned it first. Now look, I understand that you're confused because you don't understand how gravity can pull in different directions depending on where you are on the globe. But you understand that gravity pulls you towards the center of the globe, right? So regardless of where you are, down will be towards the middle. It won't be towards the south. Down and south are different things. North is not up. You understand the difference?
What do you mean north is not up?
North and up aren't the same thing.
You still didn't get my point.
Wait, do you hold on.
You're
I just have to
leaving
be
on the
super
globe.
clear here.
Okay,
Do you understand
okay,
that north and
let's
up
take a
aren't the
different
same
example.
thing?
Let's take a different example. You living on, I'll say an orange. Maybe if I say an orange, you'll get it better. You living in an orange at the top of an orange,
Mm-hmm.
and you living at the bottom of the orange. How is that even possible?
What's impossible about it?
It's not possible. You won't be
Why
able
not?
to stand still
Why not?
because the shape of that object doesn't permit you to stand still.
Why not? What's wrong with it?
Because you're not standing upright.
Sure
You
you
won't
are.
be
If
able-
look, if your feet are on the orange, it doesn't matter where it doesn't matter where on the orange you are. You can still be upright if your feet are on the orange.
The way you globers see things is so, I'll say, confined.
I mean, really? You
It's
think
so
so?
confined.
Like it seems like
man.
you're having trouble understanding what it means to
I don't have
stand
any
upright on
trouble
a globe.
understanding.
Okay, so
I
can you
don't have it.
explain?
The-
Can you
the
explain
Earth is-
to me?
The Earth is completely. The Earth is
So
completely
Massey,
flat.
Massey, can you
I
explain
have
to
another
me
example. I have another example
before you
for
move
you.
on, before you pivot
Yeah.
again? Can you explain to me in the globe model why it is that somebody can stand upright in the South Pole, on the equator, and in the North Pole all at the same time? Can you explain why that is?
There's no explanation to that because
Okay, so then you don't understand. So the explanation is that gravity pulls you towards the middle.
and there's not only gravity because you guys think gravity, but it's all density. It's
Okay,
all
so
density.
so
You
to be
guys-
clear, you don't understand the globe explanation. If you're going to criticize the globe, you at least better understand it, shouldn't you?
it's completely impossible for you to stand upright at the South Pole according to the globe
No,
theory.
not according to the globe. According to the
impossible.
globe, it's perfectly possible. I just explained how it's possible.
Because
I
there's
just don't
an
think you
invisible-
understood.
right? Because there's an invisible force.
All
pulling
forces are
you together
all forces are
and
invisible,
holding
yeah.
you guys to the crust of the globe, and
Mhm.
that's all bullshit, man. It doesn't exist.
Oh, it does exist, and I can show you experiments that prove it.
And I've already seen all of those gravity videos and whatever.
Have you?
I have
Have you,
another
though?
question for you.
Hold on,
I
have you?
another-
Have
I
you actually seen
definitely
all of
have.
them? You sure?
I definitely have. Yeah.
One sec, let me show
I
you
have
something
another
that I'm sure
question
you
for
haven't
you.
seen. I'm sure you haven't seen it.
Why? I have another question for you. Why would NASA?
One sec.
Why
I
would
don't want you
NASA?
to, I don't want you to deflect. I just want to show you something really quick.
Okay. What do you want to share?
I want to show you a video that a friend put together. So these are various demonstrations of gravitational attraction. Let me show you my favorite example here. So what he has is a precision scale, right? It's reading the weight of the mass that he just hung from the scale.
Yeah.
So see that little triangle that's hanging there? That's what he's weighing. And now what he's going to do is he's going to take this heavy lead ball and put it right underneath. And we're going to see, so they're not touching, but the number changed. Now, why would the number change if you put a heavy thing underneath it? Why might that happen?
That triangle looks suspended.
It is
doesn't
suspended.
look-
It's hanging from a string. It's being weighed. See, watch. He takes the triangle. He hangs it from the scale. The scale measures how much it weighs. 152.166 grams. Right?
Okay.
And then it's still hanging from the string, still being weighed, and then he just puts the heavy thing underneath it. The very massive lead ball underneath it. Right, that's all he does. But now it says 152.167 grams. Why did the weight change when he put the heavy lead ball underneath it?
Isn't that ball magnetic, or is
No,
there no
lead is not magnetic.
magnetism in that?
No. Wait.
So
and
what's the weight?
What's so you understand that magnetism is an invisible force, right?
Hello?
I thought that you had seen all of these before.
Yeah, keep going. Like
That's
I
the
don't get
end of the
what you
clip.
wanna
That's
come
the
to.
end of the clip. So you hadn't seen this before, had you?
Yeah, I had seen that before.
Oh, so what's your explanation for why the triangular weight gets heavier?
Because there's a, I'll say, a bigger mass
Mm-hmm.
below.
Yeah. Why does that affect the weight of the triangle?
Tell me, like, I'm not. Oh,
Do you have
see,
an explanation? Because
guys in-
the scientific explanation is the large spherical lead ball has a gravitational pull pulling the triangular weight downward. And that is increasing the stress on the scale, and so it increases the weight.
No.
Do you have an alternative explanation?
If you wanted to confirm that, then the triangle wouldn't be hanging.
How
The
would you
triangle
weigh
would be
it?
stuck.
How would
The
you weigh
triangle
it?
will be stuck to the lead ball.
How would you
But
weigh
because
it?
the triangle is
Wait,
not
how would you
stuck to
weigh
the
it
lead
if
ball,
how would you weigh it if
you
it's not
as a
hanging
human
from
being
a scale?
can be stuck to the ground because of an invisible force.
So
Because
wait a
that
minute.
triangle,
You don't
that triangle
understand,
kept-
do you? Oh, this is rough. Look,
the triangle was
how
in
are you going
suspension,
to
right?
so
Was the triangle in suspension?
right, it's being hung, it's hanging from a string. Right. And that string is attached to a scale, and the harder you pull on the scale, the more weight it reads, right? So if you hang a heavy thing, it'll pull harder on the string, and so the scale
Hello?
will read a bigger number. I know you can hear me. My audio is working perfectly. If you hang a heavy weight from the string, it'll read a bigger number, and if you pull less on the string,
No, there's a
it'll weigh
freeze.
less.
I can literally see a freeze. I can't see you anymore right now. There's a black
Okay.
screen.
I'm sure TikTok, can you confirm is my
there's a
upload
black
speed working just
There's
fine?
a black screen. I can see you. I can hear you, but I can't see.
Okay, so you can hear me. Great. Yeah, so it seems like I'm fine, actually, according to the chat. But anyway, so you understand that the way this kind of scale works is the heavier thing you attach to it, the more it pulls on the string, and so the bigger the number it reads on the scale. You understand that, right?
Yeah.
So if you hang the triangular weight from the string, it'll just tell you how much weight the triangular weight is pulling down the string with, right?
But the triangle is not attached.
Please,
That triangle is not attached to the ball.
You're right. We're not there yet. We're almost there, right? The triangle. Ignore the ball. The ball's not there. Imagine the ball's not there. The triangle's just telling you.
No, you can't say
the
the ball is not there, buddy.
We'll get there, Jay Massey.
ball
I
is
promise.
there, man.
I promise we will get there, Jay
You
Massey.
have to be attached
Jay
to
Massey,
the ball for what
Jay
you're
Massey,
saying.
I promise we will
Yeah.
get there. I promise. I promise. I'm a normal guy. I promise we're going to talk about that. So when the weight is just hanging there, there's nothing underneath it. It's just hanging there. It's pulling on the string, and the amount that it's pulling on the string, that's what the scale reads, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, now if you grabbed that triangle while it was hanging from the string and you pulled down, what would happen to the number on the scale?
It'll show up a bigger mass.
Yeah,
I
because it
guess.
would be like you're hanging a heavier thing from the string, right? So that means that the harder you pull downward on the thing, the bigger the number. Now what we saw is you put the heavy lead ball underneath it, and somehow it makes the triangular weight get pulled down ever so slightly harder.
Okay.
So what is pulling, I mean, nobody's grabbing it. What is pulling that triangular mass down ever so slightly harder? What's the cause?
It's been attracted by a bigger mass.
Why is it being attracted?
It's been attracted by a bigger mass because you get attracted by what's bigger than you. That's a natural law.
Yeah, you're right.
But it
So,
doesn't prove the Earth is
if
a
you have a
globe.
big mass,
But it
then it
doesn't
will
prove the Earth is a
attract.
globe, man.
If you have a big mass, then it will attract a small mass. You know what we call that? We call that gravity.
But it doesn't prove the Earth is a globe. That's what I
But
mean.
it does prove that gravity is real.
You just explained gravity, but you didn't prove the Earth is a globe.
Right, but it does prove that gravity is real. Which means that gravity can be a perfectly good explanation for why people can stand upright in the southern hemisphere. There's a big mass, the Earth, that is pulling on the little mass. It's keeping them stuck to the ground.
Not at all.
But you understand that you've admitted that gravity is real, right?
I'll call that density. I'm not gonna call that gravity. You might call it gravity, but
why would density play a role here?
I'll give you a different name, but that's density because that ball is more dense than the triangle.
No,
so
they're both made of lead.
It's been attracted.
They're the same density.
It's been attracted by a denser object.
They're both made of lead, so they have the same density.
They have the same density.
Yeah, because they're both made of the same material.
But still doesn't prove the Earth is a globe, man.
It does prove that gravity is real, which means that your proof that the Earth can't be a globe, because nobody could stand upright on the globe. It doesn't work anymore because gravity can keep people stuck to the ground with their feet down.
That's completely false.
Okay, which part?
I don't agree with that.
Which part?
I don't agree with that because according to
Which part?
According to the globe theory, you standing at the South Pole is literally impossible.
No, it's not, because we have gravity that keeps you being pulled down towards the middle. In the same way that the triangle is being pulled down towards the middle of the lead sphere, the person in the South Pole is being pulled down towards the middle of the Earth. It's the same thing.
Anyways, man, the Earth is flat.
Okay, so you don't have any response?
The Earth is flat.
I know. You have to keep. You have to keep.
I might agree.
You
I
have
might
to keep
agree on the
affirming
fact. I might agree
your
on the
beliefs
fact that
because otherwise you'll have to change
I
them,
might
and that's
agree on
hard.
the fact that smaller objects are being attracted by bigger objects.
Mm-hmm. Called gravity. So that explains why people can be upside down, quote, upside down in the South Pole and not fall off. Because the Earth is bigger than the people. Take your time.
Okay. Yeah, that was a good point from you. We can agree on the fact that you are being attracted as an individual by a bigger land mass.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now I have a question.
Sure.
Considering you're standing at the most east point of the Earth, right?
On a globe, there isn't a most east point.
Oh,
right, because it goes around.
Every pilot uses a flat Earth map. Every pilot uses a flat Earth map.
No, they don't.
Okay, why is there a bunch of flat Earth maps around? Why is the United Nations using the flat Earth map as its logo?
Oh, do you want an explanation for that? I can explain that for you.
Why does I'm not done.
Okay. Well, but are you just
trying
going
to
to
make a
keep
point.
bringing up different things? Because we could talk about one thing at a time if you want to.
It's still in the same context. I just want to make a point here.
Okay, so make one point and then we'll talk about it. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So the point I'm trying to make here is that consider you're standing at the most east point of the Earth, the furthest east point of the Earth.
There is no furthest east point of the Earth.
What do you mean there's no furthest east point of the Earth?
Where do you think the most furthest east point is? If you think it exists, where is it?
It is the furthest east point of the Earth. What do you
Where?
mean there's no furthest east point
Like
of
what
the
country is it in? What ocean is it in?
Earth? Well, you can Google it and find it, man.
Google will tell me that there isn't a furthest east point on the Earth. Like, you understand that you can just keep going east forever, right? Because you'll just, like, whether you're on a flat Earth or on a globe, you'll end up going east forever. You'll just go in circles.
Have you ever tried?
Have I ever tried going east in circles? Yes, I have flown. I actually have flown the entire way around the Earth in both directions, just not all in one go. Actually, I did miss one part. I missed the part between Qatar and, or sorry, I missed the part between Nepal and Cambodia. So I didn't cover that part. But otherwise, I've covered the entire, like, I've flown the entire way east-west.
Well, the point I was trying to make here is that you standing at the most east point of the Earth, which is I'll say the Pacific Ocean.
The Pacific Ocean is the most east, but you can go further east than
Pacific
that, right?
Ocean or on Marshall Islands.
Okay, but what's east of the Marshall Islands?
Let's say Marshall Islands. You're standing at the Marshall Islands
Mm-hmm.
and looking complete. How much you bet? You
Wait,
standing across. You
Hold on,
standing
I
at
just
the
gotta check
Marshall
something.
Islands.
So, are you sure that the Marshall Islands is the most east? Because I'm pretty sure that the Easter.
It's the furthest east I can find for now.
I'm pretty sure that the Easter Islands are more east. In fact, they're easter.
Marshall Islands. I said Marshall
But Easter Island is more east. The most east, in fact. Well, there is an Eastest Island, so like Easter Island is probably the closest we can get.
You standing either at the Marshall because Marshall Islands are actually on in an ocean. So
yeah, Easter Island is also in an ocean, and it's more east than the Marshall Islands.
Let's take a different piece of land, either Marshall Islands or Kiribati Islands or the Bering Sea. You standing in the Bering Sea, right?
Mm-hmm. And what happens if you go east from there?
I'm trying to make a point. Just listen to me.
Okay,
Go with me.
Go ahead.
You standing at the Bering Sea, looking with a telescope completely across, like in a straight line, completely across the landmass. How much you bet you'll be able if you had a performant telescope, a telescope enough performant, having enough performances for that? How much you bet you'll be able to see the most west point of the Earth?
That's because there isn't a most west and most east point. You're confused. If you're in the Bering Strait is only like a few miles across, right? Or I think it's like 20 miles across or something like this. So like, yeah, of course you can see across that if you're high enough up.
You'll be able, right? You'll be able to see across the whole thing
but you
to
understand,
the most west point of the Earth, which is Alaska.
But you understand that those two places, the most east place and the most west place, are right next to each other.
What do you mean they're right next to each other?
Here, let me show
they
you a
can't
map.
Be.
Here.
They can't be right
map?
next to each other.
Then what is this map?
Exactly. You just
They're
pull up
right
the
next
map.
to each other.
Okay.
They're right next to each other.
Okay. where
how
is
they're
the
right
Bering
next to each
Sea on
other?
the map? Just
The
pull
Bering
up,
Sea is right
pull up,
here.
pull up to the
Bering Sea is right here.
Bering Sea.
Right here.
Bering Sea, or Marshall Islands.
The
One
Bering
of
Sea,
those.
the Bering Sea is right here. You can see it. Maybe you can't. I don't know. I don't know how well you can read. But you understand that these are next to each other, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because that
Right. Like here's Russia.
you
the tip of
can't prove it
Russia.
with a water
Here's the
body,
tip of
because the
Russia.
water body is big enough, is
Wait,
large enough.
Massey,
It has to be from a piece of land. It has
Massey,
to be
you
from a piece of land.
Massey. So here's Russia. Here's the tip of Russia,
Yeah.
the easternmost tip of Russia, and then here's
Okay.
part of the westernmost tip of Alaska. Technically, Alaska probably kind of like loops around, but we can just look at like this little area right here. You have the easternmost tip of Russia and the closest part of Alaska to Russia. It's not very far between them. In fact, it's like 35 miles between the easternmost tip of Russia and this western point of Alaska. They're right next to each other. You understand that, right? The eastestmost point is right next to the westestmost point. That makes sense?
Yeah, which is the you still didn't answer my question, right?
Wait, hold on. Can
you'll be
you
able-
explain
you'll
this?
be
Can you
able to see.
confirm that you understand this? That the easternmost part of Russia is right next to the westernmost part of Alaska? They're like right next to each other. Like, here's Russia. Russia's quite big. We go east, and then we wind up at Alaska, which you're claiming is the westernmost part. Like, if you go east long enough, you end up back west.
Well, do you mind zooming out?
This is the most zoomed out Google Earth will go.
Yeah, it's Google Earth. Definitely, it's definitely Google Earth, man.
Well, it's sorry. It's
I
you're right.
want-
It's not,
I
it's
want you
not
to-
Google
I
Earth. It's
want you to
Google
pull
Maps.
up
One
her-
sec. Let me pull up
Yeah,
Google Earth. Oh, you're right, because that was Google Maps. One
No,
sec, let
no,
me pull it
not
up.
even Google Earth. I want you to pull a different map, like a complete flat map.
Google Maps is flat.
But
But here, let me show you
can
Google Earth.
you can zoom out to the max with Google Maps. You can be doing that.
Here, let me show you. Here we go. So this is Google Earth. Right? And you can zoom out like as much as you want. Then we'll just lose where we were. There's Saudi Arabia, so we want to go over to here.
That is a globe. We
Yeah,
can't
and
go on
so-
the basis of a globe.
Well, but you're trying to prove that the globe is wrong, aren't you? And yet, on a globe,
But
it makes perfect
it's
sense that
definitely-
like
it's
the
definitely
east is
gonna
next
be-
to the west.
It's definitely gonna be next to the most western point on the globe.
Yeah, and that's true. You know, you can
No,
take
it's not true.
You know that you can take a boat from Russia to Alaska, right? You can go across here. Like a real place that you can go.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so then that means that the easternmost point of Russia is connected to the westernmost point of Alaska. Or no, they're not connected. Of course, there's water in the way, but it's like a short boat trip.
Yeah, but
You don't have to go.
that
You
is
don't have to go. You don't have to go east from Alaska to get to Russia. You can go west from Alaska to get to Russia. Make sense?
that is a globe, man.
Yeah, but do you think that it's true that you can go west from Alaska to get to Russia?
That is a globe. You
Can
still
you answer my
didn't-
question?
You still didn't got my point.
Can you answer my question, please?
Well, the trip is possible. Like,
So can you go west from Alaska to Russia? If you just keep going west while you're in Alaska, will you end up at Russia?
That's right.
Okay, but I thought you said that
On the globe
Alaska
map.
was the western.
On the
No,
globe
I'm
map.
talking about in real life. Can you go west from Alaska to get to Russia?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so in real life, you can go west from Alaska to get to Russia, but you said that Alaska was the most west that you could go. So how can you go more west than the most west?
The fact is, according to the flat Earth thinking, there's nothing like east or west, right? There's a
No,
there's
there
a
is.
north.
Even on a flat
In
Earth, there's an
every
east and
direction-
west.
No, every direction you
Yeah,
take on
there
a
is.
flat Earth, it's gonna be a southern. It's
No,
gonna be
you can go east
it's a
and west on a
triangle
flat
and
Earth.
southern.
You can go east and west on a flat Earth. I can show you the map.
You
It
not
seems
a,
like
you're not
it
a
seems like I know
FLERF.
this better than you do.
You're not a FLERF, so you
I
you
know I
can't
do
say
know
that.
this, but I do know this better than you do, though.
No, you don't.
I do.
You don't.
Let me show you the relevant map. You gotta find a high resolution one. Always so hard to find. A good high resolution Gleason
There's
map.
two directions on the flat Earth map. It's either north or you're going south.
Here, I think
Every flat Earth knows that.
no,
every
no,
flat
there's
Earth knows
east
that.
and west on a. So what do you think? What do you think the east points to on a compass?
Points to the east.
I thought that there were only two directions, north and south.
Man,
There's either two directions or there's not two directions. You can't have it both ways. Here, I found.
I just
okay,
told you
good,
there's
good, good.
there's
I
two
found one.
directions on the flat
Here.
Earth.
This is the map that you like, right? Right? This is the map that you like? Is this the map that you like, Massey?
Well, that's not a map I use.
Oh, okay. So then which map is the map that accurately represents the Earth in your view?
To prove the Earth is flat. You might want to go on mapsoftheworld.com.
Sorry, which map do you use to represent the flat Earth?
Well, I'll have to turn on my camera to show you that, because
Okay, it wasn't the map that I just showed you? Because this is the map that's on the UN. So why did you bring up the flat Earth map on the UN if this isn't the flat Earth map?
yeah, from a different perspective, you can see it like that.
This is the map on the UN. So
It
if
all
that's not,
depends. It all depends on your perspective.
it doesn't. It's either the correct map or it's not the correct map, right?
No, because you're analyzing from a different perspective, so it's
I
not
think
going to be
you're
the correct
confused.
map, right?
Look, I mean, this isn't hard. Like, either it's the case that the map is correct and it corresponds to the flat Earth map, or the UN is using the wrong map. Right? Here's the UN map. This is what the UN uses, which is the same thing as the thing that I just showed you.
Yeah.
So if you think that this is the flat Earth map, then that means that you think the thing I just showed you, which is this guy, is the flat Earth map, right? You can't have it both ways.
Yeah.
Compare. In fact, if we rotate this, I think that we can rotate this.
Yeah, exactly. It's from the rotation. That's what I said.
Okay,
Perspective.
so your only issue is that it's not rotated. Okay, yeah. So, but it shouldn't matter what direction it's oriented in, right? I mean, the point is that just tilt your head a little bit, and these are the same map, right?
Yeah, but yeah, it's just a different orientation. Like it's
Right.
oriented in a
So
different.
which way is north on this map?
From the center?
North is towards the center, right? Which way is south on this map?
Any other direction.
So wait a minute. If I'm here and I go this way, that's south? I go this way, that's south?
That's what I said. Any other direction on the flat Earth map is
Okay,
south. There's nothing
so
as
what you're
east or
telling
west
me,
on the
just
flat
to
Earth.
clarify, what you're telling me is that if I get out my compass in New York City and I hop on an airplane and I fly due east, it's not actually how airplanes fly, but imagine that I took my compass, I had it pointing towards north, and then I flew in the direction that east was going. The whole time, where would I end up?
Yeah, come again?
Okay, imagine that I take off from New York, which is around here. I'm in a boat,
Okay.
right? I'm in a boat. I take out a compass. The compass points north. So on the compass, there's north this way, east this way, south
why?
this way, and west that way.
Ask yourself the question, why does the
Wait, can you
compass
just let me
point
finish?
north?
Can you just let me finish?
Okay.
So
just keep going.
so if I keep my compass if I keep it so that north is always to my left, you're gonna have to visualize this. But if north is always to my left, and I start out here, and then I go in a direction that keeps north always to my left, where will I end up?
Going towards your left, right?
So north is pointing to my left.
You said from
From
New
my
York.
perspective, north is to my left, and I start out here, and then I just go in the direction that I'm facing, where north is to my left.
Towards
Where
your
do
left.
I end up?
You'll end up around.
What country do I end up in?
You'll end up
roughly?
around us. You end up around Australia.
Okay, so you think that I can take a boat from here with north pointing to my left, and I'll end up over here. That's what you think?
If you go from New York all the way, well, I said around Australia, but
So,
if it's on a
in
straight
reality,
line,
the first land that you would hit would be like Spain. Right? Because if north is to your left, imagine that you're traveling this way, then north will always be to your left. The center will always be on your left. It'll be on your left hand. And you'll just travel along this curved line, and you'll end up in Spain.
but you mean all the way to the left? You didn't say you were gonna stop somewhere.
You will
said all
never
the way.
end up in Australia if you just keep
I said
north to your
you
left.
didn't get me right. I said around Australia.
You will never end up anywhere near Australia.
But traveling
At best,
on a
you would
straight
just go
line,
in a circle like this. That's
traveling
all that
on
would
a straight
happen.
line, you'll definitely end up in an ocean.
I'm not talking about traveling in a straight line. I'm talking about traveling so that north is
but
always
well-
to your left. Whatever path you take so that north is always to your left, that's the path I want you to take. And that's what I said. And if you did that, you would just travel in a circle. And that's called going east on your map. East is counterclockwise, west is clockwise. Make sense?
According to you.
This is your map, my guy. Thanks for being here, Jay Massey. We can only do it for so long. We did get a breakthrough, though. He definitely agreed that like it makes sense on the globe model. So that's a win. We'll take that. All right, let's read some super chats and we'll bring on our next guest. So from just some guy with the $2, Charlie Kirk fans miss him more than his wife does. That's a big oof. It's a big oof, dog. We have $5 from Jack Fetter. In the beginning, there was only the vessel, a silent, solid, infinite realm of clear, warm light. This light was not empty, for within it slept the source, the slow, dense, unformed goo, the very essence of potential. Let's see if there's another one. Okay, we have a break from Reverend Nate with the 2 Canuck bucks. Jay Massey not understanding density is perfect irony. It is. Oh, we don't have, there's no more follow-up from Jack Fetter. That's fine. From Carrie with the $5, narrator. He had not, in fact, been listening. And this was his strength. From Just Some Guy with the $2, you have him breathless with confused anger. Confused anger is a great way to describe flat earthers, by the way. From Trent Rez with the $5, I was today years old when I found out black holes exist inside people's heads. How does this guy lift his head off the ground? The spaceship, bro. It's rough. But let's not make fun of his accent. He speaks more languages than I do. From Jack Fetter, again with the $5. Thank you so much. In a plane flying a parabola, how can you be weightless for a short time if density is what pulls us downward? It's a closed system. What happened? It's a really good question. It really is. From Jack Fetter with the $2 again. Logic error, buffer overflow, rebooting. It probably happened. From Might You Find It Interesting with the $5. I wonder if flat earthers ever listen to other flat earthers and cringe at their different levels of ignorance. It's a good question, but I imagine that no flat earther listens to flat earthers who are on their same tier. They always listen to flat earthers who are one higher level, right? From Jack Fetter with the $2, losing will to go on, please make it stop. Well, I did. You're welcome. You're welcome. From Just Some Guy with the $2, your most painful debate yet. Great work. Honestly, you can drag a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, right? Like, but we did get some things across to him, and I think that counts as a win. From High World, hi with the €2. Happy New Year, my deeply religious flat earthers. They do tend to be deeply religious. That's true. And from Ectofool with the $2, caller really innovating with linear Earth theory. Yeah, I think he was confusing the Mercator projection with the Gleason projection. From Thunder Dude Pyromaniac, Mercator projections drive a lot of this. They do. They absolutely do. Yeah. And from Not the Official Blacks, BLX, with the $5, it's very easy to disprove a flat Earth. 1, explain sunsets. 2, using that explanation, explain both types of eclipses. Easy as that. Well, look, they have a hard time understanding sunsets too. I know you can lead a horse to water. I know that that's the phrase. In this case, I had to drag a horse to water. All right, let's talk to Wilder. Wilder, how's it going? Wilder? Oh, Andy left. Okay. All right, let's talk to Irina Merch. Irina, how's it going?
Ça va, Giuseppe? Bine?
You there?
Simona? Ça va,
Okay.
Giuseppe?
Sorry, I don't speak other languages besides English, and like that does make me a quintessential American, but look, I'm good at other things. I'm just really not good at languages. GOG, how's it going?
I'm good, my man. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Are you outside right now?
Yeah, I'm outside. Yeah, how do you know that?
Because there's some very loud crickets.
Oh, let me go inside. Sorry. Just 1 minute.
You're good.
I think it's better now.
Yeah, it is. So, GOG, what shape do you think the Earth is?
I don't think I know the Earth is flat.
Okay, why would you say so?
Text from ancient Egypt say that even that guy, what he was saying, the world map of the World Health Organization, they put a flatted map.
Okay, what does that have to do with Egypt?
I believe in ancient Egypt, there are hieroglyphs that shows that the earth is flat. Everything that is in the Bible is shown in ancient Egypt.
Okay, I mean, like, so, A, that's not true. Like there's a lot of things that are in the ancient Hebrew Bible that are not mentioned in ancient Egypt at all. But more than that, like the ancient Egyptians didn't know about like electricity, and they didn't even know about the wheel, at least not until later. So like, why would I care what the ancient Egyptians thought?
But have you checked the internet cables that run underwater?
Yeah, I have.
If you check them, like the distance, if the earth is round like you
Mhm.
guys are saying, the cables would have been shorter. But if you can put up maybe an image of the cables there that shows the images, I will show you.
Yep. Let me show you. Make sure that it doesn't have any. Yeah, here's a map. You see that? Zoom out a little. We can't zoom out, but yeah, here's the cables. Any
You can
questions?
zoom out.
This is the most zoomed out I can go.
Yeah, it's all right like that.
Okay, but what's the problem?
Like, but all these lines, the different colors, they are all the cables.
Yeah, because they're owned
Oh,
by
it's
different people and they have different names. Yeah, they're all different cables. These are the submarine. This is the submarine cable map. What about it?
Why did they take this, the long cables? Why did they take this one from this point and put it here?
Which long
When
cables?
there's a short, the long ones. Like
Which ones? Like, can you point to
like this
one?
one
From where to where?
like from this one, Australia. Is it Australia or?
Yeah, Australia is
it's
down here.
Australia. From Australia to Africa, you see the distance.
Yeah, that cable there, the brown one?
At the Horn of Africa
Yeah,
to Australia is much shorter.
there isn't
It's
a
much
cable from the
shorter.
Horn of Africa to Australia.
Yeah,
There's
I'm
one
saying
from the Horn of
distance
Africa
is not-
to like, or from Australia to Oman, but there isn't one from the Horn of Africa to Australia.
I'm saying the one that goes from Australia to Africa.
Yeah, this one here.
If the earth was round,
Mm-hmm.
it was supposed to go from Australia to the closest point to Africa, like the Horn of Africa. But
Why
you
would it
see
go to
that,
why would it go to the Horn of Africa?
why would you take the
Do you think
longest
that that's
road?
closer?
It's closer, but they
The
put it
Horn of
further
Africa's
away.
here, Australia's here. What? Why would that be closer?
The tip of Africa.
The Horn of Africa's here, right? This is the Horn of Africa. Why would that be closer? Also, the other reason why they might build a cable connecting Perth, which is, here it is, or I guess it's Mandurah, which is near Perth, to South Africa, is because they want a fast connection between Australia and Africa. If they had to connect all the way up here and then go all the way down, that would be a longer connection. If they want a direct connection, then they would build a direct connection. It doesn't seem like there's an issue here. Like, why? Like, if they want a direct connection, then they'll just build a direct connection.
Which I can't see exactly. Where is that What is that there on the corner there and close to South Africa? It's what is that?
What's what?
I want to, yeah, it's Madagascar. You see Madagascar. Madagascar is an island. It's not situated where.
Yeah, it is an island. That's why there's undersea cables connecting to it.
Madagascar, you can say it's almost at the bottom of South Africa.
It's near it, yeah.
But not top of South Africa. It's close to us.
No, it's definitely not. It's definitely not further south than like Lesotho.
Yeah, it's not there. That's what I know.
Madagascar is in the right place. This is the Mercator projection, but it's in the right place for the Mercator projection. So, okay, so what's the point of bringing up the undersea cables?
The distance of the cables.
What's wrong with them?
They are too long.
What's too long about them?
The distance, because I'm a flat earther. I was watching this guy whom I admire. He was even talking about flights taking a flight, like the flight pads, they are not correct. If a person wants to go
They're
from
not
the
correct.
US to
That's
Australia,
crazy.
yeah,
That'd be
you
crazy
must
if it were
pay.
true. Should we look to see if they're not correct?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, okay, let's do that. Let's look to see if they're not correct. Okay. So here we have here's a flight. This is a flight from Santiago to Sydney, Australia. Santiago in Chile to Sydney, Australia, right? It flies every day.
Why is it curving though?
Oh, because the Earth is a globe. That's a straight path on a globe. On a Mercator projection, it's not a straight path. And by the way, here's a similar flight in the northern hemisphere. This is from New York to Tokyo. Now here, see how it's a little bumpy? It's because they want to avoid Russian airspace. So they're not flying a perfectly straight path. If they were flying a perfectly straight path, it would take them over Russia. But let me show you.
Yeah,
Let me show you why this makes sense on a globe. We're going to go draw a line. Okay, here, let me show you. Now you can see, so here's a globe, just a model of the globe. We're going to draw a line from Santiago, which is here, all the way to Sydney, Australia, which is somewhere like down here. Here it is. Sydney, Australia. Now let's zoom out and look. So that's a straight line between Santiago and Sydney on a globe. And see how it starts out going south. It goes south, and then it curves up and it goes north again. Just like this flight. It goes south, and it curves up and goes north. Can you explain that on a flat Earth?
Aye.
Strange that
I
you can't
can't.
explain that on a flat Earth.
But yeah, those flights, you know those flights that when you take a flight, it's supposed to go maybe somewhere. Because I've never been on a flight, you see. But that guy was saying you take a flight, then that flight will first go to somewhere, then it goes to that particular place. It can't just go straight, even though you can say they are avoiding some countries' airspace.
Well, I mean, that is true.
Yes.
Like the United States is avoiding Russian airspace right now. Like surely you know that that's true, right?
Yeah, I know.
But that's not affecting like the thing that you're referring to is not related to that. The thing you're referring to is because the Earth is a globe. Now, people will mention, for example, there was a flight that I think it went from Shanghai, if I remember correctly. I think there was a flight from Shanghai in China to was it Beijing? May have been Beijing in China to Los Angeles, I think. Right. And so people were confused why they stopped over in Alaska. That's a reasonable question to ask, right? Why would they end up why would they do an emergency landing in Alaska if they're flying from China to Los Angeles?
Yes, please tell me why.
Well, it's because the Earth is a globe. If you're flying in a straight path from Beijing, is here, Beijing, all the way to Los Angeles, which is here, a straight path on a globe makes you swing north. And in fact, you cross right next to Alaska. So of course they're going to do an emergency landing there if they need to. That's on a straight path connecting Beijing to Los Angeles. Every time a flat earther says, oh, the flight paths don't make sense, it's because they don't understand the globe.
I'm stunned.
You're stunned. That's fair. Well,
Yeah.
why not sit back, watch some more of the live stream, and maybe you'll come out figuring out what's true. But other than that, Gio, I'm gonna let you go. Thank you for being here.
All right. All right.
All right, let's bring up our next guest. Let's talk to Draculic.
Hello,
Draculic,
my
how's it
friend.
going?
How are you? Oh, I'm sorry, my phone is ringing. So sorry.
It's okay. Draculic, what shape do you think the Earth is?
Globe, my friend.
Okay.
Globe.
Then I gotta let you go. JJ Mack, how's it going? JJ Mack?
Hello? Hello?
Can you hear me? I can hear you.
Wait, I can't hear you. I can see that I'm on, but I can't hear you.
Okay, feel free to disconnect, restart the app, and come back. I'll bring you up,
I
okay?
have headphones. My headphones. Hold on, just a second.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, I almost missed you. Okay. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, yep. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes. Okay.
Great. JJ Mack,
The
you're good. What shape do you think the Earth is?
it's in the shape that's by orthograph is the map I use. It's the flat Earth map I use is orthograph. Orthograph.co.
Orthograph? How do you spell that?
AUTHAGRAPH.
Okay, and okay, orthograph world map. Okay, so do you think that if you go north long enough, you end up going south again?
Oh well, you see, what I really think is that it's a duality. You see, objective reality is flat, and that the globe emerges from the flatness. So you and I are flat, and so is we live on a flat globe. And on the other side
Okay,
of the flat globe,
so do you understand differential geometry?
a little bit.
Okay, so given a topological sphere, S2, I guess this is closer to topology than differential geometry, but it's relevant. Given an S2, is there a distance preserving diffeomorphism that maps that S2 to any open set or even closed set on R2?
Okay, I'm not qualified to use all those words, but I think orthograph shows us that you can preserve the distances between places when you.
Why do you think that there is a duality? On what grounds do you think the duality is coming from?
Well, I do know a little bit of vocabulary from the 1999 Nobel Peace Prize that shows that there is a corresponding between anti-de Sitter space and the ordinary conformal field theory, and that you don't.
Oh, you are not equipped for this conversation.
Well, I know.
So
but I think there is a dual.
That wasn't from the Nobel Peace Prize, right? The Nobel Peace Prize in 1999 was awarded for. It was awarded to Doctors Without Borders for pioneering humanitarian work on several continents. So they certainly didn't mention the ADS-CFT correspondence. And if you're coming up here trying to make an argument relying on the ADS-CFT correspondence in holography, unless you know something about differential geometry, I'm not going to talk to you because you don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, thank you. But no, you told me what I need to know. I need before I talk to you again. I need to get a brush up on differential geometry.
Yeah, I recommend the 4-volume, or is it 4 or 5 volumes? There's an excellent textbook, or series of textbooks that I would recommend that you read. Well, okay, there's a bunch. Maybe start with DeCarmo. I don't remember what the textbook is called, but it's DO space CARMO. That's the name of the author. Alternatively, you can look at, there is a series of volumes. Sorry, I'm just opening because I don't remember how many volumes there are. There's a series of volumes by Spivak. It's 4 volumes. That's what it is. A series of 4 volumes by Spivak entitled A Comprehensive Introduction to Differential Geometry. I would suggest picking up that too. It's also a great reference. So if you want to read differential geometry, if you want to make this argument, then you should pick those up first. All right, let's talk to our next guest. Or let's read some we don't have any super chats. Oh, we have one. From NRock with the $2. Can you explain why subcables don't follow curve? So some of them do. I don't think that the map that we just showed, that map was showing projects as well as existing cables. And so I think for the projects, it was just drawing a straight line on the map because they don't know exactly how they're going to lay out the cables yet. All right, let us bring up our next guest. Let's talk to the Terminator. The Terminator, how's it going?
Yeah, good, mate. How's it going, mate?
Angel, is this you?
Angel? No. I'm from Australia, if you can't tell.
Are you really?
Yeah, buddy. So, what are we going to talk about? The shape of the Earth, right?
Sure. Let's talk about the shape of the Earth, Terminator.
All right, well...
It does kind of sound like Angel, but we can do this anyway. If he wants to pretend to be somebody else, that's fine.
Oh, so you're not going to run away from me this time, Blitz?
So it is you. No, Angel, look, the reason I don't want to talk to you is because it's a waste of time. Because I've already destroyed you several times.
Because I'll destroy you.
I've already destroyed you several times, Angel, and you're just coming up here to waste time.
Let's see if it happens again then. Let's see who destroys who then. Let's see.
No, I'm good. Like if you have to lie to try to come up and talk to me, I'm sorry, you're just not worth my time. Like we've had conversations multiple times before. If you don't like that, if you are so desperate for my attention, then here's what you can do. You can pay for my flight. We can do an in-person debate. Pay for my flight, my hotel, and a per diem. We can go do something. Sound good? Until then, sorry, guy. Like, you're just not worth the time. By the way, if you guys want to see me debate Angels of Light, who's like basically a nobody, he has like 500 followers or something like this. There is a YouTube video. We went on to Modern Day Debate, I think. Let me just pull it up and I can show you guys, and you guys can go watch it. I think it was on Modern Day Debate. Yeah, it was with Nathan Thompson and Angel versus me and Mark Reed. So let me just show you the link. You guys can go watch it for yourself. Here's the video. If you want to go see Angel of Light and Nathan Thompson get destroyed and then cry like little babies, go here and watch it. It's there. He just wants my attention for clout at this point. Anyway, let's bring up our next guest. Oh, we have another super chat. 2 more super chats. One from Breaker of Legs. Thank you for the $2, Breaker of Legs. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's a flat earth debate. Yeah. And from Thunder Dude Pyromaniac, thank you for the $5. Flatland may be a good intro for these folks. Hyperbolic geometry might blow their minds. Flat relative to dimensions might be too much to understand. Yeah, that's the rough part. All right, let us talk to JT.
No, I'm back here.
JT, how's it going?
You just told Mom you wanted milk. You're not leaving the
JT,
table.
you there?
And you got waffles on the chair.
Yeah, what up, Waffle Man? What up with
The
that?
one sock bandit again.
Oh my
You
gosh.
notice that? One
Let me
sock
guess.
again,
Let me guess. The globe? It's a globe. So,
JT, you there?
Your sock off.
Hello? What's going on here?
Oh man, Steve's clean.
You were like that last night?
Man, you're just full of one sucker.
Okay. By the way, Breaker of Legs, I saw your message. The only thing that popped up on the super chat was this. I didn't see any message. So if you want to send it again, I'll keep a lookout. I'll keep a lookout for it. Sorry about that. I don't know why. Maybe YouTube didn't see your question or something. But feel free to send me one, and I'm happy to respond to it. Yeah, otherwise I'll have to, let me just scroll through and make sure that I didn't miss his question. Yeah, I don't see it anywhere else, but let's see. Hold on, I'm just gonna give him a minute because I feel bad. He did send a $2 super chat and he should definitely get his question answered. I don't know where he is. He hasn't sent a message in the chat yet. Okay, so I'm gonna ask one of my YouTube mods, if you guys see him ask a question, can you DM me on Discord? And then I'll address it when I see the message. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, let's bring up our next guest. That's not what I meant to click on. All right, let's talk to Mr. Q. Mr. Q, how's it going? Mr. Q, how's it going?
Yeah, all good.
Mr. Q, how old are you?
40.
Sure, and where are you from?
Northern Ireland.
Northern Ireland, sure. This is a great accent. Now, Mr. Q, what shape do you think the Earth is?
Round.
Okay. Thanks for being here, Mr. Q.
No problem.
It seems like that was Angel 2, actually. It seems like, well, I mean, like, it could just be it could be a real accent, but it seemed kind of fake. All right, let's talk to, we have somebody whose name is NASA equals lies. Let's talk to NASA equals lies with a name like that. NASA equals lies, how's it going?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, have we spoken before? Because I feel like I recognize your name, but I don't remember.
I mean, NASA lies, so you probably do recognize it.
Well, no, I mean like your icon and all of that. Anyway,
I don't really go on here that often.
Okay, so what should I call you? NASA? NASA lies? Should I call you like Dave?
Call me Dave. That's my best friend's name.
Okay, Dave. So Dave, what shape do you think the Earth is?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know 100% for sure, and I'm okay with that.
Great. Yeah, I don't know 100% for sure a lot of things. I mean, so
but you know 100% sure that the Earth is round.
I mean, I wouldn't say that. I would say I know it as sure as that the sun will rise tomorrow. But like,
you know it. Wait, you know it that much?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think we know anything more than the sun's gonna rise. But that's.
I mean, like, I know.
Now we're getting philosophical. I just want to ask you one question.
I know what I ate for breakfast more than the sun will rise, right?
I don't think you do. That's the sure bet that the sun's gonna rise.
I ate my breakfast like 3 hours ago. If I don't know what I ate for breakfast, then man, I don't know anything, right?
Let me ask you a question because
yeah, fire away.
And I mean this respectfully because you seem like you're approaching this in a respectful way, discourse way, and that's refreshing to see. So I just want to compliment you on that.
I appreciate that.
But how could flat Earth be dead when we don't have a real photograph of the Earth from space?
Well, we do. I just think that you'll call it fake.
Well, and I think you'll call it real. Like,
right. So the question is how do you evaluate it? So you say when we don't have a real photograph from space. But like the point is we do have a real photograph from space. And, generally when it comes to photographic evidence, generally the burden of proof is on the person who's calling it fake. Right.
But here's the thing. You're not really qualified to say that it was real because you weren't on location there. When we talk about photographic evidence, the burden of proof, if you're going to make the claim that a photograph is fake, the burden of proof is on the person making the claim that it's fake. Otherwise, photographs are generally presumed real, right? Yeah, photographs on Earth. We're talking about the wildest photograph imaginable. You understand? This is the extreme.
Fortunately,
photograph.
There's not like just one, right? There's a lot.
There's only one.
No, there's a lot.
Not just one. Let me finish. There's only one that shows a full disc of the Earth, and that was Apollo 17, and that was the
Oh,
only shot.
That's not true.
It is true.
Want me to show you one?
Photograph.
Well, I can show you video from around that time period, which has many, which is composed of many different frames, right? So each one is like a photograph, right?
Wait, video meaning like Himawari, Discover
no.
Epic?
This is from the Galileo probe from 1990.
No. Not a probe, a photograph.
What?
Not an image.
This is just from a camera. Like, it's just a camera, right? Here.
That's not just a camera.
It's literally just a camera. I mean, like on the right, there's like a picture of a guy, but like, hold on, let me get to the part where it actually plays.
Is it going to show it rotating?
Yeah.
In live?
Yeah, I might have to speed it up though. Here we go. See?
That's not a photograph.
You're right. It's a video. This is 600x, by the way.
No, that's
a video is like many photographs.
No, that's a computer animation.
This is 600 times x. But these are composed from photographs of Galileo. You understand that, right?
I'm talking about one shot, one frame.
So what do you think? Where do you think these photos came from?
1972 Blue Marble. That's the only photograph.
Where do you think these photos came from?
They're computer generated.
In 1990?
Yeah. Why wouldn't they? Why?
Do you want me to just go pull up the raw images from Galileo?
Galileo isn't using film. They don't even use film anymore. That's
Galileo
one.
Was 35 years ago.
That wasn't a film.
By the way, here's a photo. This is from the Galileo.
Wait, so
Galileo
that was a film.
spacecraft.
How did they develop the film if it's a space probe?
So it wasn't digital. You can send signals analog, right? The same way that like a radio TV doesn't have to be digital, or like an analog TV doesn't have to be digital, right? But anyway, here's a photo from Galileo.
The point is, it's not film. You'd agree with that. It's not film.
I don't actually know the details of how they transferred the image there. Although I imagine what they did is they took it on a film and then scanned it and sent it. That would be my guess.
So you're saying in 1990?
This was 1990. Yeah.
That couldn't have been.
From
That couldn't have been a created image. That couldn't have been an animated image.
Unless you have evidence to suggest that it is like that. It's like that it's constructed from whole cloth. Like,
but
why would I?
Where is your evidence that it's legit?
Look,
you're essentially taking somebody else's word for it.
If your claim is that a photo is fake, the burden of proof's on you.
But that's if I'm talking directly to the person that took the picture. You're just somebody that believes what they said.
So then there's no picture that I could show you that you'd believe because I mean, like, I didn't take it. I'm not a photographer. So then you would just be like, oh, well, then you know, everything's fake, and you know, I don't have any burden of proof to show it's fake.
Okay,
look, it's just your standard of evidence is just way too high. You don't hold the standard for anything else.
Well, I could say your standard for belief is much too low.
Well,
you should be skeptical.
That might be true if there was only one piece of evidence, but there's like millions.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There is only one photograph.
It's not true.
Of full disk Earth from space film.
So to be clear,
and it was 1972. We haven't even had one of those.
You're aware that the 1972 Blue Marble was one of many photos of the same thing, right?
No, there's only one shot.
There's many.
Of the full disk Earth from that mission.
Let me show you.
The final mission. All the rest have Terminator lines.
Do you remember what the code, like the number for the photo is? The Apollo.
I don't have it offhand, but that's probably the easiest one to Google.
Well, right, but it has like an official name, or like an official number code. Okay, we'll look it up.
All the other NASA photos of the Earth have Terminator
lines. It's AS 17 148 22727. Right. So we want 22728. So here's one. What about this one?
It's the same image, inverted.
No, it's not. It's the next image.
Okay, I'm talking about that's one mission.
So
of course they're all going to be. Of course they're going to take multiple. Right? It's from one mission though.
Right. So there's more than one photo. We agree.
Okay. Then it should be easier for you to prove that since there's more photos of that mission of the Earth.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of photos. Right.
What I'm trying to say is you still have to have immense faith to believe something that one of 3 guys took who were on location.
Well, that would be true if these were the only images that we ever had of the Earth from far away.
No,
but
no. In that, from that perspective, full disc, those are the only images. The final Apollo mission.
I showed you the Galileo images, right, from 1990.
No, those aren't photographs.
What's the distinction being made here? That it was sent digitally rather than recovered film, or is sent via radio waves?
You said it wasn't sent digitally.
I just misspoke. I actually don't know if it was sent digitally or analog, but it was sent over radio waves rather than film. Is that the distinction that's being made here?
What I'm trying to say is
like your standard is ridiculous. Like there's so many different pictures that have been taken.
But there really isn't.
I literally showed you the Galileo.
What I'm saying is there's only one film photograph taken by a human.
Why is your standard film taken by a human? Why is well, actually, it's even more. Your standard is film photograph taken by a human with no terminator line. Why is that your standard?
Because why is the blue marble the standard photograph of the Earth?
Because the reason why we often use that photograph is because A, it was taken before any digital anything was possible. Like I'm sure you've seen CGI and stuff. Like we just didn't have the tech to do that. B, we had like the negative film actually exists, and C, it's a famous picture.
Yeah, it's the most famous picture.
Yeah, because
there's a reason for that. Why hasn't it been duplicated in the last 50 years?
So to be clear, well, I don't know what you mean by duplicated, like exactly the same angle.
Why haven't we got another
far away? Because
why haven't we got another photograph
from
18,000 miles away?
We don't have anything hanging out 18,000 miles away. We have things that are further away.
Do you think NASA has the ability to send out a probe?
Why would they?
With film?
Yeah, why
to
would
take
they?
A picture of the Earth.
Of course they have the ability. Why would they?
Because that's the most natural form
you would call
of
it fake.
Presenting.
No, to be clear, just so you know, NASA doesn't care about flat earthers. You understand that, right?
Who said I'm a flat earther? I don't
NASA,
know.
NASA
I don't know
doesn't
what
care about globe skeptics. Okay.
I know. NASA doesn't care what we think, dude. I understand.
So why would they run some otherwise useless? Why would they run some otherwise useless mission?
It's useless to you. Why is getting perspectives of the Earth useless?
We do have satellites that do that. We have weather satellites that take pictures of the Earth regular, but you think that they're fake because they're not on film.
Because those are computer generated simulations.
Right. So why would they care to appease a NASA skeptic? Like
don't.
Why? So then why would they ever do that?
It's the fact that it doesn't happen that raises questions.
Give me the explanation.
Why do we only
they
have
would fund
one
that.
photograph
Give
of
me
the
an explanation
Earth
for why
in
they
the
would
last
fund that.
50 years? In over 50 years.
Give me an explanation for why they would fund that. How could they justify that to Congress and taxpayers?
The same way they justified. What do you mean? Getting perspective of the Earth? That's not. We wouldn't want to see that.
How would they justify just sending someone out to 18,000 miles away just to snap a picture with a film camera? Why? Why would they do that? Like, how would they justify that to Congress? How would they justify that to the taxpayers?
Because it would be the first time we got a film photograph of the Earth in over 50 years. That's why.
Why is that important?
It's important to me. How do you know it's not important to somebody else?
Okay, how would you justify this to Congress? Because keep in mind, these things cost money. So how would you justify it?
Okay, you know the Discover Epic? How do they justify that?
It's a weather satellite.
Yeah, how do they justify it?
Because it's important to know what the weather is.
Global warming is how they justified it.
Well,
it was Al Gore's baby. They called it
weather
the Goresat.
It's weather as well. Like it's not just like climate change. It's also like monitoring weather, right?
Dude,
and that's important because
knowing
where a hurricane is and how it's moving across the Caribbean, for example, that's important so that you can tell people how to evacuate, right?
That's not what it was for. It was.
I'm giving you examples of why weather satellites could be important.
But I'm telling you why the Goresat, the Discover Epic, got funded was based off of global warming. That's how it got pushed through Congress.
Sorry, what's the source for that?
Look it up.
I'm looking it up. I'm looking for a source.
Just look up Goresat. Global warming. That was Al Gore's baby. He's the reason
we're looking up Goresat.
Yeah, look up Gorsat.
Unofficially known as Gorsat.
It was called Congress
Sure.
called it the $1 billion screensaver.
So just to be clear, if it was Al Gore's thing, why was it launched in 2015?
Because things in the government don't happen overnight. You know that.
Sure. So it's NOAA's first operational deep space satellite and became its primary system of warning Earth in the event of solar magnetic storms. Oh, okay. So it seems like there's other uses besides just monitoring global warming.
That's global warming got it pushed through, not some scientific jargon.
And that's a good justification.
I'm just being real.
Look, I don't know if that's actually what happened, but maybe that's true. Suppose that that's the case. That's a way to justify something to Congress. So what's your justification for launching a single dude or a few people to take a photograph on film of the Earth from 18,000 miles away? What's the justification?
Forget the justification. Think about the fact that we don't.
If you want to convince NASA to do this, how do you do it? What's the justification that you provide?
There's all sorts of justification that you could provide.
So then
I'm not off the top of my head. I'm
justification?
not gonna go.
Okay, so you can't come up with any. I see.
It's not about justifying.
That's how you make missions happen.
Look, when was the farthest we've been away from the Earth in the last 50 years?
Humans or spacecraft?
1972.
Well, that was 53 years ago.
Okay.
So probably like
53 years ago, we haven't attempted to send humans anywhere near 18,000 miles away. You don't think... What do you mean, why would we?
Yeah, what's the purpose?
Space exploration.
Why do you need to send humans in order to explore space?
Because that's supposed to be the natural progression of the Apollo missions till now. We're all asking ourselves, why aren't we taking humans further out into space?
Why do you want to what do people do out in space that probes can't do?
What do you mean? It's human nature to explore. What are you talking about?
Yeah, and we can explore with probes.
You sound too robot. Why would we want to send humans into space 50 years later than the last time?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah, like why?
That's
why
human,
would you want to send what
human
what
nature
purpose
is
does
why.
it actually achieve?
Who's saying no to that?
Well, apparently Congress has been for the last 50 years.
Yeah, because Congress knows it's a load of crap, man.
Oh, okay. I'm sure you could go ask a congressperson and they would think that it's
space travel
fake.
peaked in high school, did it not?
I have no idea what that means.
Where have humans gone in space traveling since 1972?
Human space travel?
Yes,
humans haven't
human
gone further
space
than the
travel.
moon. Yeah, but why do we need to send humans in order to do a robot's job?
You sound like you're a space enthusiast. You don't find it troubling that we haven't sent humans anywhere 1/1000th the distance of the moon in over 50 years? You don't have a problem with that? You don't think that's weird?
No, I don't think that's correct. But yeah, no, I don't think that's weird because it turns out
What
in
do
the
you mean?
60s and 70s, it was like in order to achieve the science that we wanted to do, it actually made sense to send people because our robotics weren't that good. However, in the year 2026, our robotics are so good, our instruments are so precise, they're in some cases better than people at doing the science that we would want to do. So why would you send humans?
Yes, in theory, I get that robotics can be better, but they sent Voyager a couple of years after the final Apollo mission. It's not like they were waiting for robotics to advance to some crazy
Voyager's
degree.
not even a robot, by the way.
It's a machine.
It's just a probe. It can't do what a human can do.
It's a machine. It's a machine.
A modern space space rover, for example, can do more
That's
than what humans can do.
Okay. Bring up the rovers.
Yeah. Okay. What rover?
Okay. You believe that they put? Why do you believe they put rovers and helicopters on Mars?
Well,
and they're stumbling to get back to the moon.
I don't remember what the justification was for the Ingenuity helicopter. I think they just wanted to test if helicopters could work there because it wasn't clear. But I don't remember what the justification for that was. Why they put rovers on Mars is to try to better understand what's going on with Mars.
No. I know why.
What is the ground made out of?
Why do you believe that actually took
place? They haven't offered me I haven't been offered any evidence that suggests that it's fake.
Have you seen the evidence of it supposedly being real?
I've seen photos.
You think that looks legit?
I've seen photos. Yeah, it seems fine. It seems like exactly what I would expect.
Exactly. It's something that you would expect. That's
how you verify your hypotheses. If you have a hypothesis,
to believe these things, you have to have religious faith, man. This is scientism.
So Dave. Dave, if I have a hypothesis that, oh, they sent a rover to Mars, and then my hypothesis is, well, when they send back pictures, it should look like this, and then they send back pictures and it looks like that.
Yeah, well, dude, we saw
confirms the
Total
hypothesis.
Recall.
That's how we do
saw
science.
Total Recall when we were 9.
Dave, did you just hear what I said?
Yeah, I heard what
Can you
said.
repeat back what I said?
Yeah, you're saying that you got adequate evidence based on what you believe Mars would look like, and you believe what they presented to you.
Yeah, that's how we do science. You make a hypothesis. Your hypothesis has a prediction, and then the prediction is either confirmed or it's not. And
Dude,
the hypothesis was
you're
confirmed.
so good at this. You're such a nice guy. You're so good at this, and I'm not used to this platform like you, so I commend you again. But can you at least admit that you have to have immense faith to believe in some of these so-called scientific achievements? And these are the wildest, most spectacular achievements. But are these not the wildest, most spectacular achievements of all time?
I would say that some of them are very impressive.
What's more impressive than space travel?
Well, no, I mean like you know
what I'm saying?
Putting up a weather satellite is like less impressive than like landing a helicopter on Mars, right? So like some of them are more impressive than others.
Right. So you like
I think it's amazing
you really
that we landed a
shouldn't.
rover on Mars. I think that's incredible.
I'm going to be honest with you.
I think that the deep, what is it called? Deep Horizon, the one that passed by Pluto like 10 years ago or 5 years ago or something. That's incredible. Like that's a great job. They did a great job.
Do you don't think you needed some high level of faith to believe in a probe that's billions of miles away right now?
So New Horizons, not Deep Horizons. Faith is belief without evidence. We have evidence.
It's not your evidence. It's somebody else's evidence being told to you.
Evidence doesn't belong to
Sure
somebody.
it does.
Evidence is presented, and it's either compelling evidence or it's not.
The evidence belongs to NASA. Whether we choose to believe it,
I don't know what it means for evidence to belong to NASA.
They're the ones that conducted the mission.
NASA isn't the only space agency. You know that, right?
No, I know that, but NASA is. Every other space agency takes cues from NASA and always has.
I mean, that's not really true.
Okay.
I mean, like, do you think during the Cold War they were taking cues from NASA?
They were all, and this is just my opinion, they were all lying.
Okay, so you have
all different degrees of lying.
You have immense faith in that. Don't you see that it takes immense faith to believe that they were all lying?
I think it takes immense faith to believe that everything we've been fed about space is legit.
That they were lying?
Do you have evidence that it actually
I do have evidence that space travel and space probes have been launched. Do you have evidence that they were lying? Yes or no?
I have logical evidence that would lead me to believe that
that they're lying.
The evidence that they're lying is the stuff that they said they can do when we had little technology, we can't do when we have more technology.
So you don't have evidence that they're lying is what it sounds like?
That's logical evidence. What is your evidence?
Is not evidence.
Tell me,
what you're offering is not
evidence. Your evidence? What is your evidence that it did happen exactly the way they said it?
So my claim is not that it happened exactly the way they said it, because I don't know exactly the way they said it. My claim is that it happened.
Of course you do. We all we all learn the same books, man.
I don't know the date of Apollo 16, for example. I don't know the speed of the Saturn V when the first boosters disconnect. Like I don't know all of the exact details. What I do know is I know the rough details, and those things.
Right. We
have evidence for. Yeah. Now, what's your evidence?
You have evidence that the Saturn V was created on Earth and lifted off.
What's your evidence that they're lying? Do you have any actual evidence? Your evidence was intuition.
I gave you historical precedent.
Repeat it for me again, please.
Why were we able to more successfully space travel over 50 years ago than we can today with
a question
vastly more technology?
A question isn't evidence. What's the evidence?
That is the evidence. That's not all the evidence.
That's a question.
But look, Blitz, you don't have direct evidence that they did it.
Do you have any evidence? Direct or indirect? Do you have any evidence that they were lying? Look, it seems like you keep wanting to try to burden shift. I have now given you several pieces of evidence. I want you to offer a single piece of evidence that there was a global lie about the space race in the 60s and 70s. A single piece of evidence for it, please.
I just gave you evidence.
Your evidence was a question. A question is not evidence.
Your evidence is their evidence.
What is the evidence?
Okay, has there ever been independent press? Has there ever been independent press on any Apollo mission?
What is the evidence that you have?
What is the evidence that you have that
I've
it took
already
place?
offered you several pieces. Now, what is the evidence that you have?
No, your evidence.
I'm not letting you deflect away from this. You can either
You
leave
are-
or you can answer the question.
Where is your evidence? You
Where
have
is the
their
evidence that there is a
Where
global
is
lie in
your
the
evidence?
60s and 70s about the space race? Where's the evidence for
Where
this?
is? Well, tons of Apollo inconsistencies.
Okay, so what's the evidence?
Intersecting shadows. Can you
Okay,
can you
to
debunk
be
that?
clear, to be clear, this is evidence of intersecting shadows. You need evidence of a lie.
Okay.
You need
Let me-
evidence of a global
okay.
lie, right?
Buddy,
I haven't seen,
I'm not
I haven't seen
complaining.
intersecting
I'm
shadows,
not.
so like, you'd have to
I'm not admitting.
show me that, but that'd
I'm
be
not
fine.
suggesting I have tangible evidence, and you don't have tangible
so-
evidence either.
Oh, well, you and I are not in the same boat here. Tangible
do
evidence
you
would be
mean
things
we're
like
not in the same
photographs,
boat?
and I do have photographs, actually.
Those aren't your photographs. That's
I
from
don't
a
have to own
government.
them. I can look at them.
That's from a government agency.
Okay, this is still
From a
it's still
time in
evidence.
history when we were lying about
It's
everything.
still evidence, my guy. Also, by the way, there's also like literal moon rocks that you can just go see in person.
And
there's
and
also
what about the
video
moon?
analysis.
What about the
There's
moon
also
rocks
video,
that were
there's also video
determined to not be
analysis.
moon rocks?
There's also
Have there
video forensic analysis of the video that was sent back, which
Forensic analysis.
Yeah.
You can't prove that a
literally,
picture from the moon to
NASA.
the Earth was filmed on location.
Yeah, you can
can't do it.
actually. You can by
No,
doing
you
an analysis.
can't. How are you going to prove
by doing
that it was on location?
By doing a dust analysis, by
dust analysis?
analyzing the trajectory of dust particles
And what are
in
you
the air as they
comparing
were
off
kicked
of?
up. You're just measuring them. You're just measuring the dust particles, or the dust trails that are kicked up. You've never heard about this? The dust falls at exactly 1/6 the rate that it does, or not exactly, at nearly exactly 1/6 the rate as it does on Earth. The dust moves.
You can slow the film down.
If you slow the film down,
dust particles.
Hold up. If you slow the film down, then that means that that means that everything was happening that everything was actually happening slower, and so that the dust shouldn't have gone as high as it did.
Look, they went They went to the moon
math, my
3
guy.
times in
They went to
6
the moon
years,
6 times.
and they can't go today.
They went to the moon
to
6
save their
times.
life.
Okay, so now you're deflecting again.
They
I'm sorry,
landed on the moon.
I'm sorry.
6 times, supposedly.
I'm sorry. So the analysis of the dust is like pretty airtight.
No, it's not airtight. Stop it.
It is.
It's not, man.
Have you looked at it before?
You believe really
Have you looked at it before?
good. I commend you for that.
Have you looked at it before?
You sound. I'm gonna be
Have you
honest
looked
with
at it
you.
before?
You sound way too intelligent to not be
Have you looked at it
skeptical at all.
before? Have you looked at it before?
Have you looked at it?
I have. I've actually redone the analysis myself.
Oh, and you can prove that was.
And the analysis checks out.
It checks out because
In fact, the
you
analysis is
agree
open source.
because you agree with what they told you. It checks out.
So have you seen the analysis before? Have you seen this this thing that I'm referring to?
The dust.
The
dust falling.
analysis. Yeah, it's a particular analysis.
Yeah, I've seen video on that.
Oh, okay. So you haven't actually seen the analysis?
You're talking to me about an experiment.
No, this isn't an experiment. This is like a mathematical analysis, right here.
Okay. See, now you're bringing out the math to prove reality.
Is that scary?
And math doesn't always prove reality. You should.
Math is how you analyze data, my guy. So like, here's the mathematical analysis. These are the.
You know how you can also
here's
analyze data. You can be there to see it for yourself.
Okay, so now your standard of evidence is changing. So I'm presenting you with evidence, and you're like, no, it doesn't count. So here's stills from the video. They took two different videos. Or they took 2 different chunks of video from the Apollo 16 Grand Prix footage. That footage is available on YouTube, and all of and by the way, all of the data that they grabbed from these videos is open source. You can go find it online.
A real human isn't driving that, by the way. But that's a cool
claim. You'd have to prove it anyway.
But
so you can
prove that it wasn't?
I'm not done. I'm not done. Anyway, what you can do is you can look at the analysis. You can look at the trajectory that the dust particles take. See, we're following these. These are called rooster tails. You can look at the trajectory that they take in the vertical direction and in the horizontal direction. And notably, there is no air resistance for the dust.
All of this can be recreated by slowing down the camera.
Oh no! How do you get rid of the air resistance for the dust?
There was no air. It was in a studio, buddy. There was no air resistance.
Oh, okay. So wait a minute. So a studio with air in it? You mean?
Whatever happens on Earth is what was portrayed in that video.
Oh no, because if you actually watch dust move through the air in the horizontal direction, if you like throw dust or if you kick up dust, it'll slow down in the horizontal direction because of air resistance. So this was filmed in a vacuum.
This isn't airtight, man.
It is airtight. You just don't understand it.
If you think that the whole Apollo mission could be locked down with
look, I understand that you don't understand
dust.
it. Yep. Well, I mean, this is just one piece of really solid evidence. But like you can just do the evidence or like do the analysis yourself. By the way, here is what you would expect.
So,
yeah, you can do the analysis
you have to
yourself.
assume that lunar dust.
So here's the trajectory of the lunar dust.
Regolith, and it's not.
Here's the analysis of the lunar dust. See the blue marks? That's where the dust was moving. This is for the first clip, by the way. The second clip, they didn't show a graph for it, but you know, it's.
Is this an independent experiment?
This is an analysis of data that we all have access to. No experiment was conducted. They're just analyzing footage. And
who did the initial analysis of the footage?
I've recreated this analysis. Everything checks out.
And it's all based off of NASA.
Good.
It's all based off of NASA.
No, it's just based
data.
off of a video that you can find on YouTube.
That doesn't check out, man. Analyzing a video to that degree with dust particles.
It's really not hard.
You don't even know what the.
You can see it. You can see it.
You can't even.
You're just looking at this. That's your point.
You can't even determine what the dust particles actually are.
It's irrelevant because the
You're
point is
assuming that it's moon
trajectory.
regolith.
The trajectory, it's actually irrelevant. The trajectory of the dust particles, if it was not in a vacuum, would look like these dotted green lines. But it doesn't. It follows the black lines. It is. That's how physics works, my guy.
Well, all the math is based on NASA analysis of what they think the moon's gravity is. How does that check out?
So the
whole math equation is loaded, dude.
Dave, I know that math is hard for you. I understand. But the point of this graph, the point of you're insulting my intelligence by saying that this is math, that this is NASA math. So please.
I'm just saying you can't prove.
I've redone the analysis.
Yeah, but it's all based off of NASA analysis.
So Dave, here's what I'm trying to explain. If you slowed down the film so that it looked like it was falling more slowly, then what you could do, barring the fact that it goes much higher than it should go by slowing down the footage, if you ignored all that, if you could somehow make it appear that it falls more slowly, then if it was not filmed in a vacuum, or if it was not filmed in a vacuum, then the dust would follow these green trajectories, right? But they don't follow those green trajectories. They follow the black lines.
This is just according to NASA data in your experiment.
This is literally just video that you can find on YouTube, and you can do the analysis yourself.
Stuff. But again,
this is just math. You're just doing math to video.
But this is all based on NASA analysis.
NASA
data.
You can do the analysis yourself. This is just video. It's just video. You can go. Do you want to go watch the video yourself?
Look, if this was so airtight, the moon hoax wouldn't still be a discussion. You know that.
It's the moon hoax is a discussion because you guys don't understand math.
I get why you believe.
By the way,
this.
here's the video.
Yeah, that's not even a real person driving that car.
Okay, prove it.
Just look at their body. Prove that it's not.
You can actually see their hands moving in this clip if you're careful.
The one thing you can't see in those car videos is the hand moving. You know that. It looks.
No, you can. You can. Anyway, the point is you can examine this video. This is literally all they did. They took this video and then they tracked the rooster tails. Oh, it's sped up. Sorry. Let me put it back down to normal speed. They just tracked the rooster tails.
Speeding and slowing down the video is how they.
It actually doesn't work because A, that doesn't get rid of the air resistance, and B, it doesn't explain why the dust goes so high.
This is not an airtight case, buddy.
Do you have an actual refutation of the math, or is it just vibes?
You're going off of NASA analysis.
There's no NASA involved here. I've done the analysis myself. There's no analysis in the video.
Are you basing any of your analysis off moon gravity?
No, you're calculating moon gravity from the video. You're calculating the gravity of the of whatever environment the thing was in.
Moon gravity.
Yep, from the video.
A video of dust being kicked up by a
radio
controlled rover. That's ridiculous.
You absolutely. It's not radio controlled, but yeah, you absolutely can.
It sure is radio controlled.
Prove it.
Prove it wasn't.
You just made the claim. The burden of proof is on you.
No, you're not.
No. I don't want to have a burden. I'm just going to make a bunch of fake claims.
Look, I'm talking to somebody that believes NASA.
Dave, look. The point is when you call something fake, the burden of proof is on you. You gotta prove it's fake. That's how it works.
But this isn't your proof. You're
I've
representing
recreated this
somebody
analysis.
else's
I've recreated
shit.
this analysis.
What do you mean recreated it?
I
Like,
took
this is-
I looked at
come
the
on,
same
man.
data and came to the same conclusion.
So you basically
I did it
copied
myself. I
everything NASA
redid
did.
their analysis. No, by the way, this paper was not written by NASA.
It's based on NASA data.
It's based on a video, and the question is, where was the video filmed? It's not based on NASA anything. There's a video, and we can try to analyze the video to figure out where it was filmed. That's all. That's all
There's
we're doing.
no way that analysis can prove that was on the moon.
Your
There's no way.
incredulity is not an argument.
Oh, and
Sorry.
blindly believing stuff doesn't make you an expert.
I'm not blindly believing anything. That's the
are.
reason I recreated the analysis, my guy.
Dude, my guy.
Have you ever done any analysis like
you
this?
You have cult-like faith if you believe.
Why would I
every
recreate the
single
analysis if I
thing-
had cult-like faith? Why would I repeat the analysis?
For your ego. What do you mean, why? What do you mean, why?
Because I'm a
Why-
scientist,
Why are
that's
you?
why.
Why are you hosting a platform?
Because I'm a scientist,
for
and what a
flat-
scientist
no, 'cause
does is
no, 'cause you have-
that they are skeptical and they
because you have an
reproduce
ego
analysis.
and you want to present.
Okay,
other
now you're a
people's
mind reader.
findings.
Oh,
Like, come
so
on.
look, if you're a mind reader, can you tell me what number I'm thinking of?
I never said I was a mind reader, dude.
Oh, then how do you know that it's about ego?
I mean, you're hosting a daily flat Earth debate, like.
And
this
I'm
is-
trying to get through to people
if
like
you
you.
don't, if you
But
don't think
seem
this is
you
about
seem like
ego,
your mind
you're
is
being
you think that your
disingenuous.
mind is too I think that your mind is too closed to ever be gotten through to. If you can't even accept that sometimes
How
math
is
just proves
my
you wrong.
mind closed when I'm the skeptic?
because I just
You're parroting.
You're a skeptic.
You are
When skeptic just
parroting-
means that you believe it's fake. You believe it's fake, and you'll never be convinced otherwise. You're a skeptic.
That's
I'm
not
sorry.
true. I didn't.
Okay,
say
so
I could never. I could
I
never.
just showed you mathematical analysis of video footage that proves
I'm more
that it was
flexible than
filmed.
you, man.
Okay,
You're believing.
so
You're
tell-
believing
right, so tell me
everything
one-
a government agency has told you
Wait a minute, really? Tell
without
me-
even questioning it.
So then why did I recreate the analysis if I'm not questioning it? What's the purpose of recreating the analysis?
Because you like math.
Oh, okay. So now you're a mind reader.
So
Well,
now
I'm
you're
telling
gonna-
you
oh,
why.
so you're gonna
and it's
deny
because I
that you
wanted to
like
check
math?
that it was right.
Okay. Prove that the 1972 blue marble was taken 18,000 miles away.
Nice pivot. Do you have an
It's
issue
the
with the
same-
analysis
it's the
that I've
same
offered you?
topic. It's the
Do you have an
same
issue with the
topic.
analysis that I've offered you?
I want to know why you have so much faith.
Because I've redone the analysis, my guy.
Oh, look.
I
we
redid
can
the
move
analysis
on.
of the ballistic motion of
Okay.
dust particles. I redid it.
We can agree to disagree on that one. My initial question.
Here's the thing: we don't get to agree to disagree when I present you with evidence, and you don't have anything to deal with it.
How is that evidence? You're just
literally
regurgitating
It's
NASA's
not
evidence.
regurgitating is not when you redo it. It's not when you reanalyze the data.
Oh, so you used their
Yes.
data and you came to the same
I
conclusion.
used the same video. I used the same video and came to the same conclusion. Yeah.
Nobody
question
listening
is-
to this thinks that that's
Dave,
airtight, buddy.
Literally everybody does except you and maybe other flat earthers. The
No,
reason why it's
man.
airtight is because we don't even need to assume that the video
You-
is Dave. We don't
There's
need to
no
Dave.
experiment
Dave,
that you can prove.
Dave, I'm going to mute you. I'm sorry. We don't need to assume that the video is legitimate in order to do this analysis. We don't need to know who filmed it anywhere. We don't need to know where it was filmed, who it was filmed by. All we need to do is have the video, and then we analyze the dust particles. And it's straightforward kinematics to do the analysis. And what you find is that the dust particles, they fall at a rate that is consistent with moon gravity, and they move in a way that is consistent with being filmed in a vacuum. Those are the two facts that we learn from the video, regardless of who produced the video, regardless of where the video was filmed. That's the conclusion that we draw from the analysis. Now, if you have a problem with the analysis, then you can bring up the analysis all you want. But if you have a problem with the conclusion, then you're just saying, no, math is lying to you.
Who gave you the data for moon gravity?
The gravity is the gravity that you find from this analysis is roughly 1/6 that of Earth. Now, we call that moon gravity because that's what it is. But you're right. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's not moon gravity, but the gravity is 1/6 that of Earth, roughly, is what we find from that video. Now, where on Earth can you go find the gravity that's 1/6 that of Earth?
Again, you're determining that based off of NASA data.
I don't even. It doesn't even have to be from NASA. It's just a video. I'm analyzing where the video was filmed. That's all.
So you can look at a video, analyze it, and tell that it was taken on the moon. That's preposterous.
Yeah,
dude.
well, you can
know
tell that it wasn't taken on Earth, because nowhere on Earth is the gravity that low.
You don't think you can manipulate this? This is.
Oh, you can manipulate gravity now?
Clearly, you think that they can't.
You have evidence that they can.
You think
evidence?
you think
your incredulity is not an argument, my guy.
Dude, all you're doing is just believing whatever they're saying and parroting it. That's what you're doing.
That's exactly what somebody would do if they recreated the analysis themselves and came to the same conclusion. That's how that's how we do science, but I guess it's just parroting.
Because you redid an experiment doesn't make it airtight, dude. This is only in your mind. Just like of NASA.
It is very strong evidence, is what it is.
All of these experiments. Let me ask you something. Have we ever seen the experiment of NASA throwing some water out into space? Just random. I know this sounds ridiculous.
Why are we pivoting?
Am I not allowed to pivot at all?
Well, not until you either admit that the video was filmed in a place with 1/6 Earth gravity and in a vacuum.
You can't
or you find a mistake.
You can't prove off of a video that something is 1/6 Earth's gravity.
You can. You can analyze the footage. Yeah, you absolutely can.
You can't do that.
Yeah, you can.
You can.
You actually can.
You can.
And just saying that doesn't work.
Anybody that's
basic
listening
kinematics.
to this is not. You cannot.
It's basic kinematics. You have data.
It's not about kinematics, dude.
It really is. You have data, right? And then you have
and
there's
all
a basic
your data
kinematic
is
formula.
Loaded. Your data
there's a basic
comes from
kinematic
NASA.
formula, right? Your basic kinematic formula for height as a function of time is you have your initial height plus the initial velocity times your time in the vertical direction minus 1/2 times a constant times the time squared. And that constant is the gravitational acceleration downwards. You have that data, you just fit it to this plot. And then you see what is the number that you get out. And for the first clip, you get 1.48 is that constant. And for the second video, you get 1.47 for that constant. And that means that that's the gravity.
Reality.
That is the strength of gravity in that footage.
Math
now we're just doing math denial.
Reality.
Now we're just doing math denial. Got it.
Does math always reflect reality?
Kinematics does.
Does math always reflect
does. We're talking about
reality?
kinematics here.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, okay. So can you give me an example where kinematics breaks?
You think
Can you give me an example,
that
please?
you can prove the moon's gravity from a video?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Okay.
This
Your
is why
incredulity is not an argument. Do you got an argument?
Well, and your believe it all nature doesn't make you an expert. You're just parroting.
If you don't understand how the math informs on the environment in which the video was filmed, that's okay. You can just admit that, and then we can move on.
You can't debunk intersecting shadows except saying,
you sure you can. It's called perspective. And there's a lovely guy on TikTok. His name is Globy McGlobeface. Maybe it's his second account, and he does this experiment in real life.
Parrot, dude.
He does this experiment in real life, and it's very, very easy to produce shadows that look like they're pointing towards each other just from the sun. Very, very easy to reproduce that. Now, I get that was a deflection, but see how quickly I dismantled your deflection?
You didn't stop me?
Well, it's because I dismantled it so quickly.
The first thing I was talking about was the 1972 blue marble.
Mm-hmm.
Prove that the 1972 blue marble was taken on location.
You can just go look at it. You can just go look at the negative.
How do you know that wasn't taken in a studio? A model taken in a studio on Earth?
How do I know that there's not an invisible teapot orbiting Jupiter? We have evidence for it. If you want to prove it's fake, then prove it's fake.
You don't have evidence for that.
The photograph is evidence, right?
The photograph is just a photograph. You can't prove the photograph is real.
Is evidence of the subject of the photograph, right?
The photograph doesn't prove that it was taken in space 18,000 miles away.
The photograph is evidence that the photograph was taken.
The photograph is evidence
that it's taken of.
That a photograph exists. The location that it was taken cannot be proven. You know that.
Sure, Dave.
You know that.
And you also can't prove that there's an invisible teapot orbiting Jupiter.
An invisible teapot. Do you see the reach you got to go to?
This is a famous thought experiment, by the way. I understand that you're not well read, so you might not be familiar with Russell's teapot, but it's like a famous thing.
You're assuming I'm not well read.
So you've never heard of Russell's teapot, clearly.
What I do know is you can't prove that the 1972 blue marble was taken 18,000 miles away.
Well,
You should
actually,
just admit-
we
if
do
you could
actually
just
have
admit-
really strong
just admit
evidence.
it.
We actually have
You
really
can-
strong evidence that it was, because we know that people were 18,000 miles away in
No, you don't.
1972. Yeah, we do,
you
because
don't.
because of the moon landing dust ballistic dust analysis that was conducted, that I conducted even. That is proof. That is evidence.
That's not proof that we were.
I know. I know it makes you very, very upset.
240,000 miles away from Earth.
I know it makes you very upset. I understand.
It doesn't make me upset at all.
You should go through and look at the dust analysis and see if you can find any flaws with it.
If you think the entire moon landing hoax hinges on a dust analysis,
No, it doesn't. This is just the most
but
airtight
you
piece
would
of
believe
data.
that because
This
think
is
of
just
all
the
the
most.
other things you
This,
believe.
Dave,
You
this
think
is,
they put a
Dave,
rover on Mars?
Dave, this is just the
140
most
million miles away.
airtight piece of evidence that relies on really basic physics that none of you guys can debunk.
It's already been debunked.
Okay, where?
The video was manipulated.
Prove it. Where's the debunking?
Prove it wasn't.
The burden is on you. You made the claim that it's been manipulated. You said it's been debunked,
buddy,
so prove that
the
it's been debunked.
discussion is between me and NASA, the skeptic and NASA. You're just a fanboy in the middle who's parroting them and
so wait,
hyping
to be
up,
clear,
dude.
to be
You're
clear, you don't have any evidence that it's been manipulated?
You don't have any evidence that we put a rover on Mars.
I'm just analyzing it.
140 million miles away,
Cool
but
pivot.
you believe it.
Cool pivot, Dave. Look, the thing is I've presented you with airtight,
No, you
math-based
didn't present me.
quantitative
You're
evidence.
saying it's airtight. I don't think it's airtight.
I know you don't, because it destroys your
It's up to your
worldview.
listeners to believe it's airtight. I don't believe what you're saying is airtight.
That's because math is scary for you and you're afraid of
no,
doing
no,
data
you don't
analysis.
need to be insulting. I
It's
just don't
true,
believe
though.
you.
So
because
which
I don't-
part
I
is
don't
not
believe-
airtight?
I don't think the data you're getting
Which
is your
part's not
own.
airtight? Which part is not airtight?
Because it's all NASA data.
It doesn't
The
matter where
whole
it's come from.
production
The
is
question
na-
it doesn't matter where it comes from, right?
Of course it does.
The video, do we agree that the video exists? That it's like on YouTube?
Who's disputing that a video exists? I'm not disputing that a
we're just going
photograph of
piece by
Earth
piece. Okay,
exists.
so
I'm
the video exists.
disputing that
So
it's
the video
real.
exists. So we agree that the video exists. Now we can analyze that video, right?
Look, you can't hit me with the
Walk with me, step by step. Let's
uh-huh.
walk with me. We can analyze that video, right? Like we can, like it doesn't matter whether it's
You
fake,
can't
real, whatever.
no,
we can
you-
do a video
you
analysis,
can
right?
analyze it, not to the degree you're suggesting.
Right. So we can analyze it.
Okay. Yeah, not to
In
the
that
degree
video,
you're suggesting.
Do you think that video is entirely CGI?
I didn't say anything about CGI.
Right. No.
I said
I'm
it's
just asking a
manipulated.
question. Okay. So do you think that video was like an actual physical recording of something?
I mean, yeah.
Okay. So it's a physical recording of something. Do you think the dust was real?
Real in what? In what sense?
Like,
that it was real moon regolith,
no,
or
it was just some kind of dust,
or it was
whatever it
crushed
is.
concrete.
It was just some kind of dust.
Crushed concrete.
Okay, it's just some kind of dust, right? I don't care what it is.
Well,
Doesn't
how
matter
about
what it
this?
is.
Can you
Hold on,
prove
we're
that
not done.
that was? Can
We're
you
not done.
prove that was moon regolith?
It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant for the analysis.
How is that irrelevant?
Because the analysis doesn't care about what kind of material makes up the dust. It cares about the trajectory of the dust. So, okay, so we agree that it's real small particulate matter, whether it's
different
dust or crust of
materials
concrete,
can
whatever it
produce
is.
different results. What
So,
are you talking about?
So we agree that that's the case. Now the question is, we see in the video, we can track frame by frame the rooster tails, the trajectory of dust particles. We can track those frame by frame. So why is it that those rooster tails, which tracks the dust particles, why do they move as if there is no air?
I honestly don't think they move like there's no air. And a lot of people don't.
So what's the deal with this what's the deal with this plot on the right? Why is it that they move exactly at a constant?
Show the video again.
Why are we looking at the video? We can look at just the data.
No, forget the data. I want to see the video in action. I want to know what looks so crazy about that video.
I'm sorry, we're doing an analysis. We're not just watching videos. So why is it that the
You can't even prove
dust,
what the substance was.
Why is it? It's irrelevant. Why is it that this
not
dust,
irrelevant.
whatever it might be, why is it that it
It's
moves
not
at a
irrelevant.
constant rate in the horizontal direction? In both video clips, it moves at a constant rate in the horizontal direction. Why is that?
How does that prove that it was on the moon?
Do you have an explanation for why it moves at a constant rate in the horizontal direction?
You don't have an explanation for why.
Do you have an explanation for that? Because the alternative
on the moon.
explanation is that they were in a vacuum. Whatever we were recording, it was recorded in a vacuum. Because
None
otherwise it would
none
slow
of that
down.
Proves. None
Do you
of that
understand
proves
that
it was really on the moon.
do you agree that it was recorded in a vacuum?
No, I don't agree with that.
Okay, so then why is the dust, whatever it is, why does it behave as if it's in a vacuum?
It's not behaving as if it's in a vacuum.
If it were not in a vacuum, then the dust would slow down in the horizontal direction as it travels. But it doesn't. It moves at a constant rate.
That's because the frames of the video have been altered.
The frames of the video can't be altered in a way to make that happen.
Of course they can.
Prove it. How would it
Prove
work?
you can't. Prove you can't.
I mean, the math doesn't math. So if you're going to make that claim, you should just
What do you
show
mean
how the
the
math works.
You don't need math.
So are you
for
telling me
this.
that? Are you telling me that like
math doesn't
Wait,
prove
hold on.
that was filmed on
Are you
location
telling me
on
that?
the moon?
Are you telling me that like the later frames were made shorter than the earlier frames, so that like they compressed, so that like the later frames, even though it was traveling less distance because it was slowing down, that they made the frame look shorter so it looked like it was going faster? Is that what we're doing? Is that what you're suggesting happened here?
You sound like you're labeling something incredulous.
No, I'm just trying to check if that's what you're supposing happened, to explain why it moves in precisely the way that is exactly what we need it to do.
Is that
so that it appears like it's not moving in like it's moving in a vacuum.
We were on the moon. It doesn't
Wait, can you
prove
just
we were
answer
on
my
the moon.
question? I'm trying so hard to understand your viewpoint here.
But you need to try hard to understand my viewpoint here.
Yeah, like you said that like
You're
they
trying too
manipulated the
hard,
frames. You said that they manipulated the frames to make it appear as if it's moving in a vacuum. So like what was the method of manipulation? Did they like lengthen some frames and shorten other frames that it looked like that, or what did they do?
The point is, this doesn't prove they were on the moon.
You're back.
This is just what
you can't actually acknowledge it. You can't actually answer the question
what
at
you
all.
believe. This is just
Thanks for
what
being here, Dave. He can't actually confront the fact that he doesn't know what he's talking about. It's so embarrassing. Rest in peace, Dave. All right, let's bring up another guest. Talk to Holy Pata. Oh, I missed some super chats. I'll read them in a minute. Holy Pata. Actually, Holy Pata, how's it going? Holy Pata, you there? All right. Well, thanks for being here, Holy Pata. Let's read some super chats. Because we're a bit behind. We're way behind, actually. So we have $5 from Real Harnold. Conspiracy Music Studios recently released a hilarious music video on Angels. If anyone enjoys that sort of thing, happy flirt wrecking. I appreciate that. From Daniel Hartz, why do you only talk to opposition? Because I don't need to convince people who are already on my side. From Ian2 with the $5, the Earth is not flat, round, oval, or square. We live on the tip of a unicorn's horn who's zooming through space. True. From Woodfiend, is local reality real? So either locality is false or reality is false or realism is false. Realism doesn't mean that things aren't real, though. They're different things. From Boogie the Cat with the $2, don't put the waffles under the chair. I don't know what that means. Why would anyone do that? And from Block with the 20 Norwegian kroner, Blitz, have you ever changed a FLERF's mind live? I have, yeah. Doesn't happen often, but it does happen occasionally. And they're usually people that are more on the fence. From Welsh Mall with the £2, first one was 24th of October 1946, 65 miles up, V2 rocket. So he wanted a full frame image of the entire disk of the Earth. That's the problem. He wanted actually like a picture of the Earth where you could see the whole circle rather than just like the curvature. I agree that there's absolutely tons of pictures of curvature. There's not so many pictures of the full disk because that you have to be a certain distance away to see that. From Von Doodle with the £5, we need to send up DoofusSat with the 35mm camera and a lone astronaut. Exactly. That's exactly what we have to do. From Boogie the Cat again with the $2. Total Recall was a documentary, folks. Makes me so sad. From Might You Find It Interesting with the $2. Last caller peaked in high school. Look, maybe he's a normal dude, but he just is. His skepticism is not skepticism. It's just belief in the contrary. From Kieran with the $5. Globally, we Daves reject this Dave as a bad Dave. He's not one of the good Daves. He also doesn't understand what evidence and faith mean. Well, his name wasn't Dave. He said Dave was the name of a good friend of his. From T Newt with the $10. Why would we send humans somewhere to further risk their lives instead of sending drones and rovers that we can work and control from the comfort of coffee and a lab? Exactly. Like, it's exactly that. And we got $20 from Drew Smith. Thank you so much, Drew. I appreciate that a lot. Let's get a big W for Drew in the comments, y'all. Guests need to learn who has the burden of proof. They do. They absolutely do. And from Carissa sending 20 gifted memberships to the Dr. Blitz Debunks page. 20 gifted memberships is huge. So another enormous W for Carissa, who's regularly giving people random membership gifts. You guys now have access to the emojis, which are pretty great. And you also now have access to my debate notes, which has all of the sources for all of these arguments and counter arguments and facts and sources and papers. All of these things you can find in the debate notes, and you now have access. And if you didn't get a gift, which is reasonable, maybe not everybody did. If you didn't get a gift, you can get one for like $4 or $5 a month. It's like a YouTube membership thing, or you can also get it via Patreon. But you should join via YouTube because then you also get the emojis. From just some guy with the $5, FLERF logic is, quote, I don't have any evidence, but you only have direct evidence, so we're even. That's exactly that. From Ectafool with the $2, did you huff the moon dust yourself? Checkmate. We got. From Orion Cooper with the $2, McCopington is coping. Yeah, that, look, I don't want to accuse him of being like super bad faith, but he was being super bad faith, so I guess I do want to accuse him of that. From Ekipo with the €5, I'm genuinely curious how they manage to function in their daily life with this kind of thinking. They're not that skeptical about anything except the shape of the Earth and, like, you know, stuff that NASA says. Literally nothing else. It's a different standard of evidence. That's it. They're normal people otherwise, usually. From Design Sonk with the $5, ironically calling the person serving their attention baiting curiosity egotistical. Yeah, right? Rude. From Drew Smith again with the $5, Russell's teapot is between Earth and Mars, not in orbit around Jupiter. Too bad. From Design Sonk again with the $5, is there a preacher out there that evangelizes from math and science books while in full gospel character? I'd like to see that. Maybe I'll do it someday. Maybe I will do it someday. Now we got $10 from Chad. I have a tall bridge to sell, Dave, that has a fantastic view of the ice wall and proves Earth flat. It also comes with a telescope that shows the moon is a cardboard cutout. Huh. I'd buy it. €5 from Wolfie Lag. It is filmed in a studio, but also it is a remote-controlled cart with a fake dummy driver. Huh? Why use a dummy driver inside of a safe studio set? Yeah. And from L'Oreal with the $10, Rip Dave indeed. Hopefully he at least watches it back and sees how little evidence he presented and how much stuff I presented. That'd be great. From Splizzleton with the $2, dust doesn't move in a vacuum, moves on a stage. Oh, dust doesn't move in a vacuum, how it moves on a stage. Yeah, that's exactly it. From Clip X with the $5, can you explain to the FLERFs why there are no stars in the blue marble? Love your content. Yeah, this is pretty easy. It's just an issue of exposure, right? If you wanted to pick up stars, which are not nearly as bright as the surface of the Earth, because the surface of the Earth is quite bright and is close, you'd have to ramp up your exposure, or, you know, you'd have to do other like ISO things or whatever, and then the surface of the Earth would be washed out. So, you know, you either get stars or you get a well-defined surface of the Earth. You don't get both. From Dave McKeegan, oh hey, glad to see you watching here. Well, that was painful. Thanks for the £2, Dave. From GM Doc with $5, Doctor here, Christian as well. I like the work you do. We aren't all kooks. Keep up the defense of the science. Look, I generally don't have a problem with Christians as long as they're not like, you know, super fundamentalists and they're not trying to legislate from their Christianity. Like you do, you boo. And from Mark Belfast with the £5, if you could wake up, you know that the Earth isn't round or flat. What shape is it? Mark, what shape is it? And let me just double check, make sure I didn't get any cash apps in the meantime. That I should read. So, C-Bar just sent me an Amazon gift card to my to buy a lava lamp. So thank you, C-Bar, for the Amazon gift card. I appreciate you a lot. All right, let's bring up our next guest. Let's talk to Vander Von Doom.
Hello, sir.
Vander Von Doom, how's it going?
Doing good.
Glad to hear it. Vander, what shape do you think the Earth is?
It's an oblate spheroid, but I just had a question real quick.
I can't. You got to either join the Discord, which is discord.gg/drblitz, or you can send a super chat. That would work too. Or you can just like send me a DM or whatever, and you can ask questions there. But that's not what this is for. Let's talk to Alone. Alone, how's it going?
All good, you?
I'm doing A-okay. Alone, what shape do you think the Earth is?
It's definitely flat.
Why do you think that?
I'll just return the question to you. Where does the thinking of the Earth being a sphere came from?
Oh, it came from Eratosthenes about 2,250 years ago, who was measuring the, well, okay, the idea comes from a little bit earlier, but the measurement of the shape of the Earth comes from about 2,250 years ago, when Eratosthenes used the lengths of shadows measured simultaneously in different locations to determine the size of the Earth, the radius of the Earth, which was spherical.
You just said 3,000 years ago.
2,250, yeah.
That wasn't possible to be done by that time.
It was done that time.
Measuring that, it wasn't possible.
We know who did it. His name was Eratosthenes.
It wasn't possible to be done.
Oh, well, it was done, so I don't know what else to tell you. Like, we know who did it.
You can prove that.
We have documentation of like this experiment happening. Like I don't know what you want.
You have documentation from 3,000 years ago of
2,200. Yeah, we have writings. Yeah, we have writings of people talking about this.
No, I'm talking about calculations of 3,000 years ago.
2,250 years ago. Yeah.
Bro, it's 3,000 years ago.
2,250.
You all know you have to put in a certain extent because you weren't there by that time. By that time, even
which part is so? Just to be clear,
carbon notation.
Which part
you have
is
to put a certain extent, so it can be specifically 2,500 years ago.
Well, we know when this person lived because like they were a real person, right? So look,
okay,
Alone. Which part is confusing?
The calculations.
Alone. Which part is confusing? It wasn't Aristotle. It was Eratosthenes 2,250 years ago.
Okay.
But look, do you think it's hard to measure the length of a shadow?
Dang, bro, you're not getting there.
Do you think that it's hard to measure the length of a shadow?
Are kind of, oh, we have a proof of this, or we can prove this and that. We have measurements.
Do you think it's hard to measure the length of a shadow?
Real facts, you can't prove anything.
Do you think that it's hard to measure the length of a shadow?
When you get to the real facts, you can't prove anything. Show me calculations.
Alone, do you think it's hard to measure the length of a shadow?
3,000 years ago, measuring those shadows, man.
Alone, do you think it's hard to measure the length of a shadow?
You see, you pivoting, right?
This is the same thing.
Of pivoting, but you're the one.
Okay, you should answer the question. That's how Eratosthenes measured the shape of the Earth. He used
my question, but
Eratosthenes determined the shape of the Earth.
Right there. You don't
Eratosthenes determined the radius of the Earth by measuring the length of shadows. So do you think that they didn't have the ability to measure the length of shadows 2,250 years ago?
Show me those calculations from Aristotle. You want to?
It's not Aristotle.
Right.
You
guys?
Are you listening to me? It wasn't Aristotle.
Where were those documentation? You said it was documentation.
It wasn't Aristotle.
How did those people write? How did they record information? There was a possible.
It wasn't Aristotle. Right? What are you talking about?
So if they have proof of
all
that,
right, he's not even willing to talk. That was something. By the way, there's a guy who goes by Albert in the TikTok chat. He doesn't believe that I have a PhD. Look, you don't have to believe I have a PhD. I do, but I keep my academic stuff separate from my social media stuff precisely because I've gotten death threats from like unhinged flat earthers before and unhinged like religious types before. So I'd rather not have all of my identity available on the internet. So I would appreciate it if you don't dox me. I'd appreciate it if you just respect my privacy. For what it's worth, I'm published in I have more than a dozen publications to my name. It's just the reality. I'm not going to tell you about it. You don't have to believe me, but I'm not going to tell you about my like personal details. I'm sorry. Anyway, let's talk to Fuad.
Dr. Blitz.
Fuad, how's it going?
Good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing A-okay. Fuad, what shape do you think the Earth is?
To be honest, man, I think I'll still confirm to the globe shape, but I've been seeing lots of videos popping up on my feed, and I was wondering if you could perhaps explain to me. Saw lots of videos about this certain camera. I think it's the P1000. It's a Nikon.
The FLERFS P1000. Yep.
Yeah, the P1000. So it's supposedly it would show that there is no curvature So they take a shot of a boat. I don't know, man, like several miles away.
Yeah.
And,
So, Buad, so I know exactly where you're going with this. I can explain. So there's two things that happen when you're looking at boats out in the distance, right? On the one hand, sometimes things get too small for us to see because our eyes aren't perfect. Our eyes don't have zoom lenses. And like, even if something is still really close, like imagine like someone took a dime, right? And they just held it away from you and they kept backing up. Eventually you would no longer see the dime just because it's too small, right? That's one thing. On the other hand, even big things, if they go far enough away, they can disappear even if they're still big enough that you can see it, they can disappear because they dip below the horizon. So you'll see a bunch of flat earthers use a Nikon P900, Nikon P1000, whatever. And what they'll do is they'll say, aha, see this tiny sailboat, this little tiny speedboat that you can't see with your eyes when we're that you can't see when we're fully zoomed out because it's too small. If we zoom it in, we can see it again. Therefore, it's not hidden by the horizon. But the point is for tiny boats like that, nobody's ever making the claim that they're hidden below the horizon. They're just too small to see. However, what you will never see is you will never see a flat earther use a Nikon P900 or a Nikon P1000 to zoom in a cruise ship and show the cruise ship come fully above the horizon when it's being halfway hidden. You will never see that because it's impossible, because a cruise ship is so big that it won't disappear just because it's too small. It only disappears because it's obstructed by the horizon. So if you ever see one of these videos, note that it's always a small boat, right? They're never zooming back in a big boat. And so, you know, it's just the case that there's a reason why they never use big boats, right?
Sounds very clear. Yeah. Appreciate it.
Thanks for being here. Anyway, let's bring up our next guest. Let's talk to Louis McGee.
Hello.
Louis McGee, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing A-okay, Louis. So, Louis, what shape do you think the Earth is?
I think it's upside down.
Well, that's not a shape.
No.
Okay, well, thanks for being here. Talk to Pole Axe Cleaver. Pole Axe, how's it going?
Hello, Dr. Blitz, and it's kind of nighttime here in the Philippines, but I'm excited to talk to you in this for the first time since I've been following you for like 4 months.
Okay.
And
what shape do you think the Earth is?
Well, since the debate topic is all about the flat Earth is dead, I truly believe that flat Earth is just pretty much nonsense from a very long time.
Okay, I agree that it's nonsense. Thank you for being here. Y'all, I'm just gonna ask you to respect my privacy, guys. It's normal. Please. Like, you don't have to believe that I have a PhD. You don't have to. Nobody's demanding that you do, but please respect my privacy, okay? Talk to BJ Bongo Sanders. Like, be normal. Recognize that I'm a person.
Hello.
BJ, how's it going?
Good. Right. So I believe the shape of the Earth is probably like an oval.
Okay. So do you mean that it's like an oval like a plate is an oval, or do you think that it's an oval like an egg is an oval? All right. Well, like then I gotta get rid of you. We got you. How's it going?
Good. I just have a question for you there.
What shape do you think the Earth is? We got you.
Oh yeah, it's round. Yeah, but how do you talk to these people without losing your mind? Like a literal.
Look, I'm not. That's not what this is for. This is not the platform to just, you know, do that. David, how's it going? Welcome back.
All right, how you doing?
I'm doing
Now-
all right,
now
David.
you can-
David, what shape do you think the Earth is?
Hell, it don't matter to me either way.
Okay, but we're talking about the shape of the Earth today. So thanks for being here.
Sorry. I just want. Oh, I didn't even read the prompt.
You're good. Reading is sometimes hard. All right, we have some super chats to read. Oh, by the way, there's a guy who says that I'm avoiding him, Keith Andrews, but you're not in the guest box. So you know what? I will invite you, Keith. But you have to join. You know, this is like you have to go to the guest box. Oh, Keith Andrews is gonna be so sad. Okay, well, Keith Andrews is not joining. Seems like he's a coward. All right, let's read some super chats. So we have $5 from Peter Hegwood. Thank you for the $5, bud. Rip Fallen Angel, always wanting a Dr. Blitz spanking. Yeah, look, I get that I live rent-free in his mind, but like, he just doesn't seem interested. From Garain with the $2, I don't understand how you have the patience. Look, it's half practice and half masochism, perhaps. Maybe that's it. Keith Andrews, I sent you the request. You're just lying. I'll send it to you again. It literally says that you're currently invited. I can't send you another request, so that's you. That's on you. From Might You Find It Interesting with the $5. Thank you so much. Shout out to Dr. Mason and our astrophysics research on the transitional millisecond pulsar named J1023 plus 0038. That's rad. I have no idea what you're talking about. I mean, I'm familiar with like a transitional millisecond pulsar, but I'm familiar with this particular research that you're talking about. So that's super cool. And from Just Rick, thank you for the $5, Just Rick. You deserve extra credit for the amount of patience you exhibit during these lives. Look, everybody deserves to be taught. As long as they're not, you know, malicious isn't the right word. Everybody deserves to learn. I do not see a request line, I promise. It says you're invited. Can't help you there. Maybe leave and come back and then click on the little request button in the bottom. All right, let's talk to the Bazooka MMA. The Bazooka, how's it going?
It's going great. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Bazooka, what shape do you think the Earth is?
I think the Earth is flat.
And why so?
Because I just don't believe mostly what NASA has put out.
Okay, but we've known the Earth is a sphere since before NASA existed.
Are you going like off of like old astrologers? Is that what you're?
I mean, just like literally everybody. Like I can show you something if you want. I'm pulling it up on my phone really quick. I took a picture in back when I lived in Europe. There's a picture that I took that is pretty iconic. Well, I don't want to say it's iconic, but it's super relevant for this conversation. I think it's around here.
I do believe it has like the firmament. I do believe that there's like a.
No, I know. I just need to find this photo really quick. Give me 1 second. Where is it? You know, there should be a way to like search my photos. It's like a long album with like a lot of pictures because I was traveling.
Yeah, no worries.
Let me see if I can find it because I thought it was on the day that we went to the opera. And so it should be sorted accordingly. Ah, here it is. Found it. Okay. See this?
I see a globe. Yeah.
Yeah, that globe is from 1693, right? It's in the Vienna National Library. And so like clearly people thought it was a globe before NASA, right?
Okay, yeah.
So like it's not just based off of NASA stuff.
Okay. But my main thing is I don't necessarily believe a lot of the things that we were even taught in school. Or I just believe that there is a mass agenda to manipulate the public. You know, like it's like I don't believe the moon.
What is the reason? What is the reason to think that like the Earth is not a globe? Is it just because somebody told you that it was?
No.
So the only reason why you think it's not? Or so then what's the reason?
Well, in the Bible it says the Earth is, flat.
I mean, like, look, but we should be able to, like, we shouldn't have to rely on like ancient texts from, people living in the Middle East 2,000 years ago. We should just like be able to go out and figure it out, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So why don't we just do that? And people have been doing that for literally thousands of years.
Yeah, I think the people right now that are in charge of like going out and discovering this stuff are probably lying, if with a malicious
All of them?
intent.
Like every single scientist alive?
Not every single scientist. I think that the arithmetic that the scientists are taught to believe is false.
Arithmetic
Right? Like,
is false? Like 2 + 2 isn't 4?
No, 2 + 2 is 4. I'm talking
So what's
more
the
about,
arithmetic that we're taught to believe?
well, like I'm talking about like how, or like what I'm really trying to say is like like the moon landing, right? There's that whole the Van Allen belt that we haven't gone past since the moon.
What does this have to do with arithmetic?
Well, because you're taught things like the Van Allen belt. You're taught things
That's
like
not arithmetic.
Space. We're
It doesn't
taught.
have anything to do with arithmetic.
All right. Well, arithmetic was the wrong word. I apologize.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, education in general. The education is false.
Why do you think it's false?
Well, the stuff I learned personally in high school was wrong.
Like what?
It's not true. Half of the history you learned in his high school was wrong.
Like what?
You learn that Christopher Columbus is Catholic. You learn that he,
But we're talking about science, right? Not history?
Well, history and science, I believe, go hand in hand. History is pretty
also,
relevant.
by the way, I'm pretty sure Christopher Columbus was Catholic.
No, he wasn't. He was Jewish.
No, he wasn't.
You could Google this while you have your phone out. He was
so he may so there are theories that he may have had a Jewish heritage. That doesn't make him Jewish though.
No, he was
like a practicing Catholic.
No, he was forced into Catholicism, like all the Jews in Spain were at that time. If you look, Columbus set his voyage the same year that all the Jews.
Columbus was Italian. He wasn't in Spain.
No, he's not Italian. He's Spain.
Yeah, he was Italian.
Jew from Spain. Look,
he
Google
was
it.
Italian.
You have your phone in front of you, correct?
I can pull it up for you right now. We can just go to
recent 2024. I believe it was in 2024. They did DNA analysis and discovered that
lots of people have Jewish heritage, but he was a practicing Catholic, right?
No, he would no. He
was absolutely a practicing Catholic.
He was forced into Catholicism, like all the Jews at that time.
Here. He was a practicing Catholic. Oops, don't want to move that.
They were forced to convert. He was only a practicing Catholic.
He was an Italian, though, not a...
Look who funded his voyages.
The Spanish funded it. He was an Italian explorer and navigator from the Republic of Genoa. Like, he was Italian.
That's what they want you to believe. That's what I'm saying.
Do you have any evidence that he wasn't Italian?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the evidence? By the way, not everybody who has Jewish heritage is Jewish, just so you know. Okay. His father worked in Genoa and Savona and owned a cheese stand where young Christopher Columbus worked. His mother was Susanna Fontanarosa. 3 brothers. One of the brothers ran a cartography shop for at least part of his adulthood. He probably never wrote. Probably never able to write. Oh, no. Okay, no, I'm sorry. Columbus is presumed to have spoken a Genoese dialect as his native language, though he probably never wrote it. In one of his writings, Columbus says he went to sea at 14. In 1470, the family moved to Savona, which is still in Italy, by the way, where Domenico took over a tavern. Some modern authors have argued that he was not from Genoa, but from the Aragon region of Spain or from Portugal. These compelling hypotheses have been discounted by most scholars. So, like, no. Like, we have like... These competing hypotheses, I'm sorry. These competing hypotheses have been discounted by most scholars. So, like, this is just not, like, scholarly consensus. By the way, I can't hear you when you're off the app. Did I mention that Columbus was Polish? He spoke Pig Latin. He was Russian. He was from Afghanistan. He was Somalian. Welcome back.
Hello? Oh, did you lose me?
I can't hear you when you're off the app.
Oh, that is a bummer. I was just going off. No, he was a Sephardic Jew. I can't, I don't know how I'll be able to quote
What's the name of the study?
It's on the conversion.com and it's
It's on conversion.com. That's not a name of a study.
History Washington EDU. It's from History Washington EDU.
History Washington EDU.
Yeah, it was a 2024 study. They did bone fragment analysis of his son. They found that he was a Sephardic Jew. His voyage was funded by Jews that were converted to Catholicism, and he left his voyage.
Wait, his voyage was funded by the king and queen. Are you saying that they were Jewish too?
No. His wait 1 second for me. I'll be right back.
By the way, it doesn't say anything about so I am seeing that there is a recent analysis that suggests that he may have had Sephardic Jewish some Sephardic Jewish ancestors.
So it was Luis de Santiago who was a huge funder of his voyage, and he also was a Jew that was forced to convert to Catholicism.
Suppose all of that is true. What does that have to do with science?
Oh, well, the reason for this
all of that is true, which by the way is a huge grain of salt, because I'm not seeing compelling evidence that this is the case at all, but suppose it's all true.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. What does that have to do with the shape of the earth?
Because the whole, that's the beginning of America, right? The beginning of
people were in America before that.
Yeah, 100%. But the beginning of democracy in America, we brought slaves over. It was the beginning of the
what does this have to do with the shape of the earth?
West, because the start of our history is false from the beginning. So I can't believe.
What does that have to do with the shape of the earth? The shape of the earth isn't history.
Because we're taught that in the same book.
Christopher Columbus being Catholic is not in the same book as physics textbooks. Sorry.
Oh, in history textbooks, you learn about Galileo.
Yeah, so we're talking about the shape of the earth, not the history of other people doing things, right?
Yeah,
we're talking about what shape the earth actually is.
But you asked me why I believe the earth is flat.
And you think the earth is flat because Christopher Columbus may have had Sephardic Jewish heritage?
I'm just using that as a great point of support that what we learned in history in school was wrong.
Fortunately, we don't have to rely on history to know the shape of the earth.
Well, you were using history to prove your point, right? You went back.
My point is merely that the Earth being a sphere is much older. The idea of the Earth being a sphere is much older than NASA, right?
Yeah, but what I'm saying, you were saying we can go back and prove that people were doing this before NASA.
Well, no, I mean we just have paintings from before NASA existed, and we have globes from before NASA existed. So this idea is older than NASA. That's the reason why I brought that up.
Yeah, 100%. Right, you're right about that.
But we don't need history in order to figure out the shape of the Earth.
Okay, we
can do measurements today, and we do measurements today. We can take photos today.
Yeah, but I don't believe any of those. I don't believe the sources, because the sources that those things are coming from are corrupt.
Just like some random guy from Arizona, those sources are corrupt.
I'm not going off of some rant. I don't know who
I am. Here, let me show you something.
From Arizona.
Let me show you something. His name is Baron Rutledge. He's a surveyor. That's his day job. You know what a surveyor is?
Yeah. They map the ground. They make maps.
So these are exactly the kind of people that you would expect that would be able to come to do precision measurements to figure out, the shape of the Earth or the curvature of the Earth. So this is on the YouTube channel of Baron Rutledge. He's an acquaintance of mine. And here what he's doing is he's basically sticking a target in the ground, 61 inches up on one side of a lake. See, I don't know if you can see, but it's 61 inches up. That's what the tape measure says. 61 inches up. I'm just going to fast forward a little bit. And by the way, he's measuring from a nail that he put in the water, so that even if there's waves and stuff, it's like consistently measuring from the same height. Okay, that's his latitude and longitude. So yeah. So well, it's lake level, right? He's not at sea level. He's on a lake, but like it's lake level. So it's 61 inches above the surface of the lake, and then he's going to go over to the other side, where it's called an auto level. It's a type of device that's used in surveying. Here's his latitude and longitude for his second location. And then he measures again. Let me pull back. He measures again. The height of the auto level is exactly 61 inches again. So he's looking through a telescope, basically. That's exactly 61 inches up. And he's looking at a target that is exactly 61 inches on the other side above the water. And now the question is, if the Earth is flat, then it should be the case that the exact center, the crosshairs, because there's crosshairs in an auto level, the crosshairs should land exactly they should be level with the target that he set up on the other side of the lake. If the Earth is curved, then the target should be slightly lower. So let's look, see what he does. He's going to look into his auto level. So here's the auto level. He's going to zoom in a sec. But see, you can see the little crosshair there.
Yeah, I completely agree that it's going to be curved here. What I believe is the part that we're on is curved.
The water is curved.
100%. The part that we're on is curved.
Okay, so we agree that the Earth is curved? What does it mean? What top part?
So, like, the thing that you have, it's upside down. It's a snow globe.
So where do you think the southern hemisphere is?
What is and why do you think none of us, all the countries in the world, don't agree on anything besides the fact that we can't go to Antarctica?
No, you can go to Antarctica, and not all the countries agree on the Antarctic Treaty.
Well, not every single country. Most countries can't even.
Most countries, it's not even most countries.
Or the ones that are really running shit, though,
it's
don't
like
let
50.
You go.
Like you can, if you're Mexican.
The countries with nuclear bombs don't let you go.
I actually don't think that's true, by the way. One sec. I'm actually curious about whether or not it might be the case that, because there's only like 11 countries with nukes. It might be the case that all of those countries are signatories, but well, hold on. Do you think that Israel has a nuke?
Israel does have nukes.
Well, they're not a signatory to the Antarctic Treaty.
I never said they were. I'm just saying.
So then there's a country with a nuclear bomb that is not part of the Antarctic Treaty.
Okay, list the ones that are on.
So Iran also is not part of the Antarctic Treaty. They probably don't have a nuke, but they're not part of the Antarctic Treaty. So there are 57 countries that signed on to the Antarctic Treaty. 63 countries that signed on to the Antarctic Treaty. Every other country is not associated with it. Like if you're from Mexico, you don't even have to ask anyone. You can just go to Antarctica. If you're from Ireland, you don't have to ask anyone. You can just go to Antarctica. If you're from anywhere in Southeast Asia, well, look, if you want to land a plane somewhere on like somebody else's airstrip, then you got to ask permission to land there. Of course, that's how airstrips work. But
no,
on the other hand,
over Antarctica. They'll force you to land.
Who?
No, they will.
Who's gonna force you to land?
Well, this just happened. Some kid was just trying to fly over.
Wait. So to be clear, you know that he was from a country that was a signatory, and so that country's laws require that when you produce a flight plan. Actually, no, he was flying from Argentina, and he filed a false flight plan with Argentina. He lied to the authorities about where he was flying. Of course they're gonna be like, who's this guy showing up at our runway? Nobody filed this flight plan with us.
Okay, look,
like it's just you've been fed lies. I'm sorry. Like you think that like you were taught lies in school. No, the flat earthers have lied to you about all of these things.
I'm not going off of the flat. I don't.
You are, because that's the only reason you think that they don't let you go to Antarctica. That's the only reason, because you've listened to flat earthers. You can just go to Antarctica. You can just go there.
You can.
You literally can. Literally, there's part of the Antarctic Treaty is that there's not allowed to be any military there. That's part of the Antarctic Treaty.
Okay.
You can just go there. Now, if you're from a country that signed the Antarctic Treaty, then you probably need to file a plan with them because, you know, they have responsibilities as part of the treaty. But if you're from Mexico, if you're from Ireland, if you're from anywhere, basically anywhere in the Middle East, you don't have to do anything. You can just get on a boat and go.
All right.
Like, you should look into this. Also, it seems like you were kind of like really obsessing about the Jewish thing, so maybe reconsider that. Anyway, let's read some super chats. From Gretchen with the $5, Columbus is claimed by more places than Einstein is attributed quotes. Yeah, right? Columbus, like, yeah, Columbus is claimed by a lot of people. Now, it could be the case. So it could be the case that Columbus's ancestry, even though he was Italian, it very could be the case that he has some Jewish heritage, because during this time, in the late 1400s, the Christians were forcing the Jews to, in a lot of places, including Italy, including Spain, including Portugal. I think that there was even one in England. They were kicking you out if you were Jewish, and the alternative is that you would convert. And so it's quite possible that Columbus had some Jewish heritage, and that his Jewish heritage ended up converting. And so even though he was a practicing Catholic, he would have had Jewish heritage. That's possible. It doesn't mean that he was a secret Jew. It doesn't mean that, like, that there's this big Jewish conspiracy. Like, he was definitely, like, alluding to something. He wanted to say Jewish a lot. But like none of that's related to any of this, right? Anyway, from Time 42 with the $5, I was bad at being a student in high school, therefore Earth flat, every flurf. That's roughly what it boils down to. And from Obson with the $5, I think Columbus being Jewish is an anti-Semitic trope. Columbus had plenty of flaws, which had nothing to do with who his ancestors were. Yeah. And look, as far as we can, like, I don't think that there's any evidence. I don't think that there's any evidence that he was ever a practicing Jew or even knew he was Jewish, right? It's not even clear that there's evidence that he was Jewish. Like, this is a fairly recent study, so we'll see how it holds up. We'll see if it holds, if it, you know, stands up to the test of time. But, like, anyway. And from Christopher Sanford with the £5, I have a friend who went to Antarctica for 2 years to document seal populations. It's really easy to go there. Yeah, it's really not that hard. I mean, like, it's expensive, but it's not hard. From Mindforged Manacle with the $2, indeed, no one expects the Spanish Inquisition. Now, look, y'all, it is 12 o'clock where I am. Oh, hey, we got a new Patreon subscriber from Regins. Thank you for becoming a Patreon patron, Regins. I appreciate that. So it is that time. But before I go, I want to remind you, if you're 18 or older, you should join the Discord server. It's really easy to get there. Just go to discord.gg/drblitz, Dr. Blitz. Really easy to get there, as long as you're 18 plus. Don't go if you're not 18 plus, otherwise you won't have access to anything anyway. Second thing, if you want to support the live stream, if you want to, you know, keep this funded, you know, TikTok is getting taken over by Oracle in like a few weeks, and who knows how the funding situation will change. Consider becoming a member on YouTube. YouTube's not changing, and if you become a member on YouTube, it's like $4 or $5 a month. It helps support the channel, and it also gives you access to emojis, and it gives you access to my debate notes. Now, my debate notes they're things that I put together for myself, but people seem interested in them. So much so that, you know, I feel like it's something I can offer as an incentive to convince people that they should support me. It has a bunch of sources, a bunch of links, studies, these kinds of things. And it'll help support the live stream. So consider that. And yeah, we have one more super chat, and then we'll call it a day. Two more, I'm sorry. From Not the Official BLX, if you don't mind answering, what religion were you raised as? I was raised in a Jewish household. But I don't really have a memory of like ever believing it, so, you know. And from Dylan with the $2, got to go, keep it up, Blitz, see a chat. Well, I gotta go too. Oh, I do have a Cash App. There are no Cash Apps today, as far as I can tell. I didn't get any emails about it. But I do have a Cash App if you want to support me that way too. But anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.